With black males, and then a voter registration.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning,
David, good
Facebook.
morning.
They'll live stream those events.
How we doing? Everybody good today?
We're doing well. How are you?
Oh, very good. Lots to talk about.
Oh, yeah,
We have lots to talk about.
Okay.
for sure.
All right. So,
Lots going on.
yeah, there really is.
I guess if I have to.
How about this? Did you see this? The Department of Justice, and we'll get into this later on, has designated New York, Portland, and Seattle as permitting anarchy.
Right, that came out yesterday. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was weird.
They say it's the most important thing a president can do. Trump met with Amy Coney Barrett, a federal appeals judge who many consider to be the top candidate for the seat.
You're all set.
Trump supporter, House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, says the nomination issue should be simple.
Why don't we put the whole campaign on, is this person qualified to fill the seat? It doesn't matter who nominates him. Is this person, he or she, qualified to sit on the Supreme Court? And that should be the only question, and you vote it up or down.
A Border Patrol officer in Arizona stabbed critically by an illegal border crosser as the agent was trying to arrest some border crossers in Nogales, Arizona. Police in Louisville are bracing for an expected announcement from the state's attorney general on whether he plans to prosecute officers in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor in March. The city's police have canceled all vacations. The search continues for the driver behind the hit run that killed a road worker yesterday on eastbound I-94 in St. Clair Shores. A 26-year-old road worker from Chesterfield Township was killed. He was working on the shoulder when a vehicle struck him just before 9 Mile. State police say they're looking for a white box truck. The teenager who was behind the wheel of an SUV that crashed in Southfield was going more than 100 miles an hour when the wreck occurred. The teenager who was behind the wheel suffered a broken back. 2 of the 6 teenage boys in the vehicle were killed. Detroit will finally have an auto show the first week of October of next year after the Auto Dealers Association changed the dates again from June to October. Auto Dealers Executive Director.
Well, we've got Kamala Harris in town today.
Yeah. Yeah, she's going to be in town.
I think she's going to be in Flint and then down in Detroit later on.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I expect there to be some information on the Supreme Court situation that is unfolding.
What did Trump say that he's got his list down to 5 or something?
5.
Yeah.
He says he's considering. He says he's going to nominate a woman.
Yep.
Chris Renwick.
At Al Dede Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, lease a 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn for only $122 a month, or 2020 Jeep Compass Limited just $108 a month. Al Dede, your hometown dealer in Clarkston.
On the next Caring for Kids with Larry Gardner, we're going to start with Mr. Derek Aguirre, who's the executive director of Rack It Up Detroit, a new partner of the Children's Foundation. Then we're going to talk to Mark Wallace, the president and chief executive of the Detroit Conservancy. And then Ken Daniels, play-by-play announcer of the Detroit Red Wings and co-founder of the Jamie Daniels Foundation, right here on Caring for Kids.
Sponsored by the Children's Hospital of Michigan Foundation, tonight at 7 on WJR. Jazz returns to Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe with various September performances from jazz. Here's kind of
a weird question for you, Chris.
Okay.
Have you ever been to you obviously have gone to like Sam's Club or Costco in the past, correct?
I have. I'm a card carrying Costco member.
Do you ever go there just to eat?
No. I have never gone there just to eat.
Like that seems to be a big thing with people. I'm going to go to Costco and I'm going to get like a slice of pizza or a hot dog, just kind of walk around. It's like a social event. I find that weird. If I'm going to go to Costco, I'll just go get my stuff and leave. I don't know. I don't know about you.
Quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance.
No, I've never been there like that. I'm not.
Marathon, fueling the
I've only
American.
had like a piece of their pizza once, I think.
Here we go.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now sitting in for Frank Beckmann, here's Chris Renwick.
Hey, good morning to you. Lots to get to today. Once again, as Kamala Harris in town, we got Joe Biden blaming Donald Trump for coronavirus deaths. We've got the whole gamut. And the politicization of the U.S. Supreme Court continues to be at the forefront. So we'll talk about that too. And I was going to start there today, to be totally honest. But I was listening to Paul's show a little bit this morning, and I heard his interview with Jocelyn Benson and our Secretary of State here in the state of Michigan. And I thought it was a good interview, but there was one part of it that I just didn't understand. So if you remember, last week we got the report that there were ballots sent out that did not include Mike Pence's name as the Republican running for vice president along with Donald Trump. Instead, it listed Jeremy Cohen, who's the Libertarian Party's vice presidential nominee. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how does something like that happen? Well, Donald Trump had that same question. And he, in fact, tweeted it out and said something about the Trump-hating Secretary of State in Michigan didn't include Mike Pence's name. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the tweet in front of me. So how does something like this happen? Well, Jocelyn Benson, our Secretary of State, responded to Donald Trump on Twitter and said it was a computer glitch. But in her conversations with Paul this morning, she had something a little bit different to say, and I want to play that. Danielle, could you hit me cut 4, please?
It was due to two programmers working on the system at once that led to a computer glitch that altered the vice presidential row in the ballot, and we fixed it within 90 minutes, and it's not going to have an impact on the election.
Okay, so that's fair. Now, to be transparent here, there was at least 400 ballots where that were sent out. And that's confirmed from the Secretary of State. And these were mostly sent out to those who live abroad, but still vote in Michigan, obviously, or military members who are not going to be able to get to the polls on November 3rd. And so the question that I had really was, how can this be a computer glitch? The last time I checked, and look, I am no computer programmer. I pretty much know how to turn my computer on and off. But I'm pretty sure that computers don't just glitch, right? They don't just do things you don't tell them to. So now we get today, again, that audio coming from Paul's show this morning with Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, that they had two different programmers working on this, and there was a mix-up on that particular row under Donald Trump's name where Mike Pence would be. Instead, they listed Jeremy Cohen, who's the Libertarian Party's vice presidential nominee. Now, I want to take you back to 2016 here. Again, this is just 400 ballots, all right? It's just 400. It's not thousands and thousands of ballots. So it was caught relatively quickly. But Donald Trump won Michigan in 2016 by just over 11,000 votes. Now, again, we're not talking about thousands of ballots here that had the wrong name. But this is why people continue to worry about this election. This is where people are left scratching their heads and wondering how this thing is going to operate properly. How this thing is going to operate smoothly. We've been now assured a number of times that there will be no shenanigans taking place on November 3rd, November 2nd, November 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, the whole thing. that this will be a secure, safe election to vote in. And I just hope that these computer glitches don't continue to persist. Now, if I got a ballot, if I'm overseas serving my country and I get a ballot and Mike Pence's name isn't on it, I'm not filling it out. I mean, this ballot is incorrect. But this is where people, mostly it seems to be Republicans, but there is a huge faction of people that just don't trust this election, that just don't trust this way of voting. I mean, look, we could go to an online voting system and probably have more success. There would be no ballot counting. There would be no need to go to a poll. You could log on, hit vote, and you would get instant results. There would be a paper trail. It would be, and look, I'm no election expert, so I'm sure that presents a whole new set of difficulties. But it's very hard in this case for people who are worried about this election in just a few weeks to not feel like something is going on. And I don't know what it is, but it just feels like something. How could this happen? I would bet you there isn't 3 people in this country over the age of 10 who don't know who the vice president is. In one of the most contentious periods of our history, based on a president, I would be very hard-pressed to find you a dozen people that don't know that Mike Pence is the vice president. So, and especially if you're in the military, you know who Mike Pence is. So when you get this ballot that doesn't have his name on there, doesn't have the name in the right spot, there are questions. And it cannot be just a glitch. And today we find out from the Secretary of State on Paul show that we had 2 different programmers working on the same, they were working on this, which led to a computer glitch. All right, more to come here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Lots to get to. Chris Renwick in for Frank. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. That's the number for you to call or text. We're also live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can watch the show there. All right, more to come. But first, at 9:13, we must say good morning and check in with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business.
T-Mobile Business Advantage. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch. Stop by for details. Plus taxes and fees. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. Unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for details.
A new accident, Chris, in Detroit, 75 northbound after Holbrook. That earlier accident still there blocking the right lane. Construction today in Birmingham, Woodward northbound at 14 Mile Road. The right lane is closed. That's scheduled 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. through September 25th. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Attention new car buyers. Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is offering huge savings on their inventory of new Ram pickups during the Ram Power Days event. Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Hall Road in Clinton Township. Show up, sign up, and ride.
Well, showers from earlier that passed well north of us will continue to do so as we get into the afternoon. Some clouds, otherwise mostly sunny. That should do for the first day of fall. 76. Tonight, clear 53. Suburbs 40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 80. Thursday, a mix of clouds and sunshine with a high near 80. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Nuts, bolts, rock.
Diagnosed with spinal stenosis, you do not need spinal fusion invasive surgery. Get better faster with outpatient endoscopic spinal surgery at Synergy Spine, Michigan. It could change your life.
My name is Ernest Bentley. I'm 60 years old, and I've been a landscape contractor.
So, Chris.
My whole life. I heard Dr.
Yes.
on the radio and called him the next day. I sent him my MRI, and he called me and told me he could repair my back. I had the surgery done in November, and I have no pain in my back now.
David. Pamela, good morning to you.
Sorry,
Barbara, good morning.
I wasn't plugged in. I couldn't hear what you were saying. Say again.
Barbara Frank is feeling under the weather, so he's fine. Everything's good. He's just a little under the weather. I think it's the weather change, really. But Frank's good. He's under the weather. I talked to him yesterday. I'll talk to him again today, but he's all good. I'm still receiving applications for absentee ballots in my mail every other day. My goodness, Barbara.
I've been getting the same thing. I've gotten like 5 absentee ballots.
Have you really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
All for the same person?
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm getting so many absentee ballots. Whatever. My question is, did you see this story from the CDC about them saying no, avoid trick-or-treating at Halloween this year?
No, I didn't see that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
If you're curious,
I know probably bums you out because you probably want to take Jake trick-or-treating.
I mean, look, Jake's like 2, so
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely gets it this year.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer, but
They're saying to avoid wearing masks and costumes too.
Avoid wearing masks?
Yeah.
Now they're telling us to avoid wearing masks? Just kidding. That's funny.
Yes.
This is Pastor Kent.
I thought we should be wearing masks.
Centers of Hope. More families.
Yes.
Thank you, Barbara. That's very kind. Appreciate it.
There is no time when the hurts of our
All right. So, what do we got? I'll tell you what.
We have
Let's do this.
partnered with WJR during this time to help meet the needs of the growing number of
this
people who come to our doors during this pandemic with your help.
This
Great
one.
Centers of Hope is able to provide a nutritious meal.
You've got some callers that are on hold, so
Okay, good. Here's the other thing that we probably need to talk about, and we will talk about it today. Tease here for the folks on Facebook. No auto show again. I mean, till the fall of 20. We're looking at another year, a whole year now without another auto show.
it's probably because of what LA did, right? Is that why
Well,
they
probably
is
could
that-
be,
is that
but
why
I
they
mean,
moved it?
I don't know. I mean, we'll talk to Doug North, who's the I think longest serving chairman
Or
of the auto show
centers
of the whole time, but we'll talk about it.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
All right, welcome back in. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Hillary Clinton back in the news, basically saying that the McConnell move to hold a vote on the Senate floor on a Supreme Court justice that is nominated by Donald Trump, which is their jobs, right? That this is just a lust for power. It's just a lust for power. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, both weighed in on the fight over the seat left vacant by the untimely passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Hillary Clinton accused Republicans of a lust of power for moving too quickly and confirming Ginsburg's successor. The decision that Senator McConnell made back in 2016 in the midst of that presidential election, but at a much earlier time when Justice Scalia unexpectedly passed away, is what should be the standard now, Hillary Clinton said on NBC's Meet the Press. She added Republicans should be held to account for their previous actions. Madam Secretary, might I just give you a little bit of advice? If this is how you feel, I would suggest running for office in either the House or the Senate and providing some sort of constitutional amendment to this. It should be the standard now. Says who? Hillary Clinton? Got it. Well, if Hillary says it, it's got to be true. It's something we should obviously consider. I just don't understand. Who care? I mean, do people actually do people watch NBC's Meet the Press and go, "Oh yeah, that's true, Hillary"? Actually, they probably do. It's NBC. But there is nothing in our Constitution that says that should be the standard going forward. There are very few unwritten rules, and this ain't one of them. So I don't quite understand this. Now, you've got Mitch McConnell coming out yesterday and saying that, look, addressing you, saying you will hear nonsense in the upcoming days. You will be lied to. I'll tell you what, Daniel, give me cut 3. He'll tell you better than I will.
The American people are about to witness an astonishing parade of misrepresentations about the past, misstatements about the present, and more threats against our institutions from the same people who've already been saying for months, well before this, they want to pack the court.
Yeah, but it's the Republicans' lust for power, right? It's the Republicans' lust for power. Got it. It's the Democrats talking about expanding the Supreme Court so that they could have a majority. But it's Mitch McConnell's lust for power. It's the Democrats talking about changing the structure of the Supreme Court of the United States. But Mitch McConnell and the Republicans' lust for power. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. When you program, you manually load the values into the field for it to populate. I'm not saying it was intentional, but it was put there by the programmer. Programs don't randomly select names. FYI, most young people don't know who the VP is, and that's from Mike in Macomb Township. Look, I understand. My point is there aren't many people. Here, how about this, Mike? There isn't anybody in the country that will vote that doesn't know who Mike Pence is. But I agree with you. I'm not saying that this was intentional, but it does skew the public's opinion on this upcoming election. It just does. And that's an issue that we have. From an unnamed texter, this election totally riddled with fraud even before it begins. I'm so tired no one is standing for the rule of law. Look, I'm just saying it's there. This is a real fear for people. In terms of this, alleged computer glitch that didn't even include Mike Pence's name on Michigan ballots that were sent out. And I'm happy it was fixed in 90 minutes like she told Paul. It's great. That's good. You caught it and you fixed it. But that doesn't mean that people are just going to all of a sudden feel better. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Let's hit the phones and go to Northville and Sean. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good. What's up?
I was going to talk about the election and all the nonsense of the office, but you brought up RBG, so I want to pivot to that.
Okay.
It's quite funny that Hillary Rodham Clinton is saying that the Republicans are overreaching and by actually only doing what is constitutionally required. In
other words, it's their job.
It's their job. Just doing it. And I hope they try to impeach Trump for doing his job. It's once again an overreach by the Democrats, because that's what they are. They are dumb. Let's be honest. In 1888, you had a president who had to nominate a Supreme Court justice. There was a Senate that was opposed to him. Different party. They did not allow it to happen in an election year. That was 130 years ago. That is our standard that we now use. So when Hillary says, they're breaking the standard, no, actually, Mitch McConnell was upholding the standards of the Senate, and it's quite beautiful. And I hope they ram this the new Supreme Court justice through, and I hope they don't even have open debate. They just go straight to a vote, jam it through, and say, you know what? We don't care. We are lustful for power. You're saying we're lustful? Here's our lust. We don't even have to do this. Show us where it legally says we have to have an open debate. There isn't.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I was listening to Rush yesterday. I don't know if you heard Rush after our show, but he was talking about the same thing. And he said, look, you don't even have to go through the Senate Judiciary Committee. You don't. That's not in the Constitution. The only thing that's in the Constitution that it says about Supreme Court justices when it relates to nominees is the president nominates, the Senate decides to vote on it. That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's it. It's quite simple. Make the nomination, vote, drop the mic, and walk away.
Sean, I appreciate the call. Thank you. Good stuff. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number 4 to call or text. And at 9:26, off to the roadways we go with our Dana Clark. Dana.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile Business Advantage. Get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans via bill credits when you switch, plus taxes and fees. Stop by for details. Over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. See T-Mobile.com.
Traffic First sponsored by Operating Engineers 324. Operating Engineers 324 run the heavy equipment that's building Michigan's roads. Remember to slow down, pay attention in work zones. For the workers' safety in yours, OE324, we build, we operate, we maintain. Visit OE324.org. 75 northbound after Holbrook accident continues to block the right lane. Construction today along the Southfield Freeway northbound in Michigan Avenue. Single lane closure scheduled there through early November. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy. Guernsey's newly remodeled restaurant is now open for carryout, and their dining room is open for dinner only Friday through Sunday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy great food, drinks, and laughs, and visit their ice cream parlor and store for Guernsey's award-winning ice cream, milk, and lemonade. For more info, visit GuernseyFarmsDairy.com. Expecting it to be a nice day to kick off fall. Momentarily, it will be here. Plenty of sunshine today, a high of 76. Tonight, clear skies. Low 54, lots of sun for the first full day of fall. On Wednesday, a high of 81. Sunshine, 48 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Hey, you heard from John?
Nah, he was at a...
So he's out?
Yeah, I'd like to kick that Rona's.
Run into Rona, and Rona will take you out. Stay away from Rona. Here's how at ronaforreal.com.
At Beaumont, we know change is constant. And while the last year has seen so much, through it all, we've never stopped changing for the better. Our experience helped us to create COVID-19 rapid testing and safer return-to-work screening programs.
All right. Let's see here. I got to get caught up on some of these comments.
Michigan. At Beaumont, we'll always be ready.
Are the AB from Secretary of State and or the Democrat or Republican parties? Are the absentee ballots from Secretary of State and or from the Democrat and Republican parties? I'm not sure I follow, Margaret. So the absentee ballots that are sent out are ballots. They're just normal ballots. So when you get ready to vote, you'll have both options on there. And so in this case, but I believe all those ballots they were taken back, and they're going to send new ballots out. So it's kind of no harm, no foul in terms of your actual vote. But the issue remains that that something went wrong. Something went wrong. And that's the part where I think that's the part where people get a little iffy on it. I feel like the fall, I'm assuming you mean auto show, that's closest to the new models hitting the showroom. Yep. At the bottom, at the Trump rallies, they are cheering fill the seat. They have been very good for the president. Huge crowds. It's true, Bill. They've been huge. Do you think there should be a rule that you cannot impeach a president within 45 days of an election, because that's what Nancy Pelosi's talking about, just to hold things up and prevent the confirmation? Well, I'll tell you what. If Nancy, I would have to check the legal ramifications of this, but if Nancy Pelosi impeaches Donald Trump, if he does indeed decide to name someone and then have the Senate vote on it, if she impeaches him, I would say it would be a two-part argument. One, for what? There was no high crimes or misdemeanors committed. What are you actually charging him with? What is the charge? So fine, impeach him. But number two, if you're weaponizing impeachment, if you're actually weaponizing it, then there needs to be some ramifications of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, you just can't throw that out there willy-nilly. So I would very much hope that that doesn't happen, because things will get very nasty then.
A border patrol officer.
It was an obvious human error. Where's the checking of the ballot once it's printed? Someone always proofs it. Apparently no. Barbara says programmers must be the same people who goofed the launch of Obamacare. Also, Whitmer has many times mentioned computer glitches before during her administration. Nominee for Supreme Court doesn't even have to be a lawyer. Well, that's true too, but I don't think you'd get very far without somebody as an attorney.
State police say the hit and run vehicle may have
David.
The U.S. Centers
Yes.
for Disease Control has issued its first
What do you think of all this?
holidays, including
I think that I see both points. I see your point about the computer glitch, but I also see your point about somebody had to program that computer that had the glitch.
You can't have a glitch without a program. A glitch means that somebody programmed something wrong. That's the glitch.
Right. There's a glitch in there. So that's true. Now, it could have been an honest mistake, but I also agree with you that in this time where everybody's worried about their vote getting counted correctly, any little hiccup in the system is going to get blown up to be huge. So that's why this is becoming such a big thing.
I'm not saying that it was done on purpose. I have no factual evidence to back that up.
But in this time where everybody's worried about the election being done, not rigged, and their vote counting, then that is, going to get blown up to be a bigger story than maybe it needs to be. There was a lady that called from Farmington Hills who said that in her little community Facebook group, somebody offered to come around. Just some random person in the group offered to come around and pick up the absentee ballots and drop them off at the post office for everybody. She said when she posted in the group chat that was illegal, she got shredded by everybody in the saying that the lady was just trying to be nice. Why are you saying it's illegal? She's just trying to do a nice gesture. What do you think about that? If somebody was just going to randomly come and take your ballot and say that they would drop it off for you?
Not a chance. Not a chance. No way.
So you're with the lady who said that it was probably illegal.
I guess I don't know if it's illegal. I don't know the legality of it, but I'm not giving anybody my ballot. Nobody. Nobody gets my ballot.
You're going to go, you're going to drop it off. You're going to make sure that it goes where it needs to get done, where it needs to go.
Correct. Nobody is touching my ballot.
Now, will you be voting with the write-in ballot or absentee ballot, or will you be going on election day and voting at the precinct?
No, I'm going to the polls.
You're going to go to the polls.
Yeah. I don't see the difference for me of going to a store, going to a place, going to a restaurant. To me, it's no different. It's the same thing as going out and grocery shopping. It's the same thing. If I got to wait outside, I'll just wear a jacket, whatever. I mean, to me, but I'm going to the polls. Thankfully I'm healthy to go to the polls. Thankfully, I'm not in a situation where I'm going to be traveling or anything like that. So I'm here to go to the polls. So that's what I'm going to do.
Put your mask on and go wait in line.
What's the difference? No difference. None.
I agree with you.
Maybe I'll even bring my own pen so I don't have to use somebody else's pen. What's the difference? No difference. Same thing. Same exact thing.
Now, are you doing that because that's what because you don't trust the mail-in ballot, or It's because that's what you're going to. That's what you've always done.
355
It's just what I'm going to do.
888
I'm not afraid to go to poll. So.
The Frank Beckman Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Again, when we talk about these ballots, these 400 ballots that had the wrong name on it, didn't include Mike Pence's name. It just sows some sort of uneasiness, questions around whether this is legit. Look, we had a poll in Michigan. I think it was a Detroit News poll that said voters are confident that their vote will be counted, right? Like 8.7 out of 1 through 10. The consensus was near a 9 that they're confident that their vote will be counted. But in terms of the fairness, in terms of the confidence of the election, it's a much different look. It's like almost 7. So there is uneasiness there. And when you see stories like this, it doesn't help. All right. Speaking of polls, a new poll from MRG shows Biden has increased his lead on Donald Trump, but there is still that, that underlying group of supporters of the president who just lie in the weeds. That's the silent majority that we've heard so much about. And how much of a role will they play in this upcoming election here in November, just a couple weeks? Now, to help us break this all down, we had to go right to the expert, the president of MRG, Marketing Resource Group. Janelle Leonard joins us this morning. Janelle, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Thanks for taking some time with us. So in this race, obviously, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and it looks like the former vice president is holding a 5-point lead. It's not insurmountable, and in fact, it's pretty comparable to what we saw back in 2016. What are you seeing here just a couple weeks before the election?
Yeah, absolutely. So the MRG, we commission this Michigan poll twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. So the last time we conducted this was in March, and it was immediately following the presidential primary, which obviously the Democrats were in full force here in Michigan. So we've definitely seen a lot of changes since that poll in favor of Biden. Much of that could have been because people were still coming to the grips with the fact that he was in fact going to be their nominee. So he's definitely improved the ballot test and then also his personal ratings. If you look at the personal ratings from back in March, Biden only had 36% that had positive feelings about him, that had negative feelings, and then that's changed up to 45 now. So he's done a really good job at transitioning that. Obviously, a lot has happened in the past 6 months. Not only have you had the COVID, which has impacted everyone, but you've also had the social unrest with the riots, and then now most recently you have a Supreme Court justice pick that is obviously going to play into the election results as well.
Talk to me about how difficult it can be, dealing with an election involving Donald Trump. We learned in 2016 can be really hard to poll because it seems that there are a large number of supporters of the president who either don't participate in these or maybe aren't being truthful. I mean, I don't know what exactly it is, but how difficult is it to poll a Donald Trump election?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously there's always that talk of the silent majority out there. And I think there's something to say about that. People may be supporting him, but not really willing to put out a yard sign because they don't want to get a nagged house, right? So there's obviously that kind of factor. But what you're seeing here is there is definitely an enthusiasm from the right and the base there to ensure that Donald Trump is elected. On the other side, with the Democrats, you're seeing less enthusiasm for Biden, but there is motivation as a referendum against Trump to ensure that Trump is not the nominee. So there is enthusiasm to vote, even if your vote is against someone versus for your nominee.
Sure. The other race that will be highly contested, really not just in Michigan, it's going to be a big race in Michigan, but across the country, it has huge ramifications in the Senate, and that's the Gary Peters, John James race. And they've kind of really have been neck and neck for months. We've seen, Gary Peters take a slight 3-2 point lead in some polls and then drop back down to even, but it looks like, this is again a pretty tight race.
Absolutely. This is one we've kept a little bit more of a pulse on over the past 6 months or so. We obviously pulled it as part of the Michigan poll back in March, where it had a 7-point spread. And then we've also done independent polls in June and July that, again, James has been hovering between 6 and 7 points down on Peters. But with this Michigan poll, we're only down 2 with James. Which shows that things are breaking in James's favor. Now, obviously, again, people don't realize. I don't think people understand how important the U.S. Senate is, but now it's going to become a bigger realization with the late passing of the Supreme Court justice, and obviously that's a Senate role in the confirmation. So, will that play into people's vote? Absolutely. But then also, how much does this process keep Peters in Washington so he's unable to campaign in Michigan too? That's the jury's out on that one too.
Interesting stuff. Well, obviously polls can be tricky, but we really trust MRG and we appreciate you taking some time with us and keep us up to date on what you're seeing, because as we get closer here, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how these numbers shake out. Janelle Leonard, president of MRG Marketing Resource Group here on the Frank Beckmann Show. We appreciate the time, Janelle. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right. Lots more to come here on the Frank Beckmann Show, including, boy, it just seemed, can I get an auto show, please? I missed the auto show. Postponed once again. We will talk to Doug North, chairman of the 2021 North American International Auto Show. And I should probably add a new title to his resume here. And it's like the longest serving chair of the North American International Auto Show. We'll talk to Doug North kind of next. All right. 9:42, off to the roadways we go. Check things out there with our Dana Clark.
We are looking at the roadways, and really, Chris, they are not looking too bad at the moment. Traffic First is sponsored by Operating Engineers 324. It looks like things are moving along pretty well. Construction popping up in the right lane along 96 westbound between Novi Road and Old Plank Road. Construction project happening there yesterday as well. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily through Thursday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Well, cranking out the nice weather here as we head on through early afternoon. A few clouds. Most of the showers stay north of us. A few clouds and sun later, 76. Tonight, cleared out, 53. Suburbs cooler. Wednesday, sunshine, 80. Thursday, cloud sun with a high near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
When Nicole's daughter was 18, she got the phone.
Boned by a truck. Besides having collapsed lungs and some
Chris.
broken bones,
So the last interview,
we just had one goal.
who did they do the poll for?
What do you mean?
I had a question about was it for the Republicans?
Very, very gradually, she began to come out of that coma. She still was unable to.
No, I think this is just voters in Michigan.
I thought it might be just what Leah needs, and I was right. It worked.
From autism to brain injury. If it needs healing, it needs Oxford Recovery Center.
And everybody's so friendly, too. That's one thing that Leah remarks all the time. Everyone here's so nice.
The new Brighton facility or in Troy at 248-486-3636 or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
Don't ever give up.
Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins.
Global automotive technology leader in seating and e-systems, headquartered in Southfield, Michigan.
Let's see.
Reputation for identifying industry
So you're really missing the auto show, huh?
Yes, I like the auto show. You know, the thing is I'm really not a car guy.
With constant reliability.
I'm just not, but I do enjoy the auto show.
The auto show is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, good to see the new cars.
And the unwavering support of the community.
It's cool.
Where they do business. A diverse global culture that understands that they can achieve more together.
So LA moves theirs from November to May.
Faces the future of the vehicle with an even bolder vision.
So now the Detroit show will take place September 24th through October 9th.
Every experience
Yep.
and every drive better than the one that came before it. Lear, making every drive better.
The Inside Outside Guys wants to be your trusted resource for any and all of your housing needs. Hey, Chuck, a lot of the remodelers went to Congress to talk about the CARES Act.
Whoa. That sounds political.
It is political, but it has to do with housing, too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics.
So you got LA May 19th through the 31st. You've got New York March 31st through April 11th. And Detroit was June 11th through the 26th, but now it'll be September 24th through the 9th of the October 29th.
Your roof system to the Landmark Pro Series for free, giving you more durability and protection. Also get a 50-year
So it gives time for all the stuff to get over to Detroit then.
Exactly.
2022. Get a free estimate today. Go to ProHomeMI.com. That's ProHomeMI.com to hire the pros that know.
Polls have Joe Biden ahead of President Trump, but did a poll ever ask your opinion? Now Newsmax TV is
Think about everything that's coming up that's going to be different. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
The whole thing.
Everything's going to be all different now. It's all going to be very quiet. It's all going to be really, really different.
Samsung and more. So vote now for Trump or Biden. Text virus to 397.
Think about Thanksgiving Day without the parade.
You just don't feel like you're
Well, that's another interesting thing that we're going to have to cross the bridge eventually because, that's going to be weird.
I mean, you're going to have a Lions game, hopefully. But, and maybe by then they'll let some fans in. I don't know.
Right.
But it's going to be really weird.
Okay, some good news during a challenging time for everybody, and this could really help. You may know hundreds of thousands of people have already made the switch to MediShare, which is the affordable alternative to health insurance. And with
So you said you didn't get to see any of the game last night and the Raiders' new stadium?
I watched probably most of the second quarter.
Okay.
And that was all I saw. But that's cool. It's a cool stadium.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go visit the stadium when my team goes to play the Raiders.
I like that they have that big torch at the one end.
Yeah, you know what that's for, right?
I do know what that's for.
That's the Al Davis flame.
That's the Al Davis flame.
Yes.
And I don't care for the reason. I don't really care, but it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a big.
I know.
It's not a real flame though, right? It's just like a.
No,
it glows.
It is. They light it. They light it for
wow.
every game. Oh yeah.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
So those who make big time decisions over at the Detroit Auto Dealers Association and everybody associated with the North American International Auto Show decided to move everything to the summer, which was really exciting. And then everything, nothing really went to plan, obviously, with the pandemic. And so now we got to wait a little longer for an auto show. And it bums me out. I really love the auto show. But now Detroit moving NAIAS to what is being dubbed as just a sweet spot in the calendar. It'll take place September 24th through October 9th. So to help us talk about it is the North American International Auto Show Chairman, Doug North, here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Doug, good morning to you.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be with you today.
As far as I know, you may be the longest running chairman of the auto show. Can you confirm or deny?
As far as I know, I am, and I haven't gotten to a show yet. But hopefully only one person will ever have to go through this.
Well, we know you can handle it. But first, talk to me about the decision to move the auto show to September, late September. Obviously, LA's auto show kind of moved some things around, and it looks like you found a pretty nice spot.
It really is, Chris. When we originally had discussed and analyzed moving the show, we knew we needed to change our show and make it way more interactive with a lot more opportunities for consumers to interact with the new types of products and technology. And so the indoor-outdoor theme was really one of the initial things that we thought of. And we considered the fall as well as the summer. And we ended up on the summer. It was something that was supported by some of the OEMs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the right decision at that time. And as things have evolved and we've had COVID, and now, of course, the LA show moved to May, it really did several things. One, it kind of jammed up the spring and the early summer, which made it difficult for the manufacturers to be able to participate moving back and forth from those shows. And it kind of jammed up the opportunity for them to provide reveals or new vehicle debuts. And what it also did was it kind of reopened the fall for us. And there aren't any shows in the fall. And as you know, historically, most all of our new product does come in the fall, and it is a sort of the new car season. And the manufacturers still do have a lot of product to reveal or to debut at that time. So when we really started to look at it, we recognized that the fall would be great with regard to new product reveals, but also, as you know, September and October in Southeast Michigan are just fantastic months for weather. It's a delightful time, cool evenings, and it would not negatively impact our desire to have both indoor and outdoor. So we reviewed and discussed and we talked with all of our partners, and they were very supportive of it. And they really liked the fact that now I don't want to call us an outlier, but now we're sort of kicking off the auto show season with new models, and we're in the fall. So that's kind of how we got there.
Now, so I'm happy you mentioned that, because I was going to do the same thing. I mean, September and early October in Southeast Michigan is a sweet spot. I mean, just in terms of weather, in terms of, you can still do a lot of stuff outdoors. So I'm happy to hear that you'll still can keep the component of obviously utilizing TCF and all the indoor facilities there, but still being able to utilize the outdoors. Do you anticipate? And look, I mean, we really hadn't even been able to get off the ground with a summer auto show, and I think a lot of people were excited about that. Is there still a possibility that will be the plan going forward, or do you kind of anticipate this early fall, late September will continue to hang around, and will all of these auto shows from around the country, LA, Chicago, and New York, will they continue to keep this type of new schedule, or they kind of revert back?
You know, that's a great question. I can't speak to the other shows. Our plan going forward is yes. We have an agreement with our great partner at the TCF Center, at least for the next 3 years, 21, 22, and 23. And we actually shift 1 week earlier in 22, 23, which is really where we wanted to be, the last 10 days of September.
Okay.
So we think we've got a great time of year. We're not too concerned about what other shows do. They can move, but now that we have, I don't want to say that time of year somewhat to ourselves, at least we do now. We're sensitive to the Munich show, which is typically the first week of September. So we have ample time between those shows, and we just think it's a great time to have our show, and our plan is to just keep it there going forward unless something very strange or unusual were to happen.
So obviously there was a lot of talk about when everything was planned for the summer, and some of the you guys were keeping a lot of close to your vest with good reason, but there was a lot of speculation about what was going to be taking place, what kind of activities were going to happen outside. Are you altering those plans, or will a lot of that kind of still be able to be used?
No, our plan is changed really very little. We will make full use of our outdoor space with ride and drives, with technology displays, with consumer activations, really allowing consumers and customers to interact with some of the product and to see things that we couldn't otherwise do inside TCF Center, as well as we'll have 4 to 5 of the manufacturers having moving displays inside TCF Center. and we have automobility is now on the main floor upstairs. So all of those, sort of fundamental components are still going to be there, and we still have the 7 shows in one, which is consistent with what our plan was. And always great to make mention of the fact that the charity preview will be October 1st, and that will be an indoor and an outdoor event as we had anticipated. And that's such an important night for our show, but more importantly for Southeast Michigan. So we're really excited about that as well.
Doug, all right, look, now here's the deal. I got to get to an auto show soon. So let's keep it here. Let's keep it here. And because I miss it. I really do. And I know you guys are itching to get to it too. And I'm happy this time. It sounds like it's perfect and it fits right in. So best of luck going forward. Keep us up to date, and we'll talk very soon.
Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate you having us on, and we're looking forward to it as well. Have a great day.
You got it, Doug. All right, there it is. Doug North, chair of the 2021 North American International Auto Show and owner of North Brothers Ford in Westland here on the Frank Beckmann Show. All right, lots more to come. We will continue on. Look, we'll get to more of your calls, more of your texts coming up also at 10:05. All right, but first at 9:56, off to the roadways we go with our Dana Clark.
Chris, not a bad drive right now. Just really looking at construction. Well, an accident just coming in right now. 275 southbound at 7 Mile. A collision is blocked lanes. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. They also provide pre-screened quality tenants to their property owners. They love to match good people to good homes. Contact them today, northbloomfield.com. Expecting it to be a sunny day for the first day of fall, a high of 76 today, clear skies tonight, your low 54. Lots of sun on Wednesday, hump day, a high of 81. Sunshine, 48 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 3 minutes.
Timeshare owners, what I'm about to share may save you. In the last 15 years, I've heard everything imaginable from exit companies trying to get you to hire them. I've heard them advertise a money-back guarantee. The truth is those guarantees fall flat time and time again as bad exit companies file for bankruptcy and take your money with them. I've heard them try to earn your trust, claiming they pioneered timeshare cancellation in 2008. The ugly truth is that's not possible. Newton Group has been leading the exit industry long before.
David, where are all my questions today?
Celebrity endorsers convince
Something
you
just
they're
came over on the USA Today that says that nearly 2/3 of Americans say cities are under siege by protesters. A new USA Today poll finds.
If you want out of your timeshare, call
Say that again.
Nearly 2/3 of Americans say cities are under siege by protesters.
and free copy of
Wow.
That's 800
Wow.
800 or newtongroup.com.
Interesting.
The Inside Outside Guys wants to be your trusted resource for any and all of your housing needs. Hey, Chuck, a lot of the remodelers went to
Very
Congress to talk
interesting.
about the CARES Act.
Whoa. That sounds political.
It is political, but it has to do with housing too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics, housing only, listen every Saturday and Sunday to the Inside Outside Guys.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Kearns Brothers.
Kearns Brothers said they could install our new roof in one day.
Let's see.
They did. They're all
The ramen. Turn down the background noise.
some hive.
That's right, Ms. Happy.
What's that?
Only Kearns Brothers.
They're hearing the radio on the background.
With this warranty
They are?
and this guarantee.
Phil, I know it's not a scientific poll, but every time I watch the president or Joe Biden on a Facebook broadcast, the feed is always 99% positive for Trump and 99% negative for Joe Biden. How can the pool be so much different than what people are reacting in real time as they speak? Well, that's an interesting point. I mean, it's probably not quite those numbers, Phil. I mean, those are pretty big swings on both sides. Opposite ends of the spectrum. But yeah, I mean, look, I think there are people that react to both in real time. The CDC recommending no trick-or-treating. I wonder whether Whitmer will follow those guidelines. Probably. Yeah. Just got to keep people safe, right? Got to save lives.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I see that Hillary Clinton is launching a podcast
Oh, good thing.
called You and Me Both with Hillary Clinton.
Oh, good. I was wondering when she was going to release a podcast.
There you go. Will you be subscribing?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be a big subscriber.
Stimulus package.
Okay.
One of the industries taking a major hit, of course, over the stalled talks is airlines. The airlines are warning.
All right, let's see here.
Jobs. The White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows urges Nancy Pelosi to address the issue in the next stimulus package.
So now we've got Joe Biden blaming Donald Trump.
Yes, we
for
talked
the
about
deaths.
Yeah, we talked about this in his little
during the coronavirus.
in his political commercials. Yeah.
Well, and he did this in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, yesterday too. I mean, look, I just don't understand. Show me one piece of evidence, one piece of evidence that shows that Donald Trump's actions directly led to the deaths of one person. One person. That's all I'm asking. One person. Jim, good morning to you. I just haven't seen that, and I just haven't seen that data. Haven't seen that info. That's all I'm asking for.
The Postal Service in the past week. Marrero says
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how you can actually do that. It's very weird. It's very weird. Like how can you say that in a statement?
Because it's political. That's all. It's just political.
November 2nd should be counted. Secretary of State Johnson.
I just want everybody to know. I want you to know, Dave, that thousands of people wouldn't have died if Donald Trump had a plan. If he wasn't scared, thousands of people would be alive. They wouldn't have lost mothers and fathers and daughters and brothers and sisters and sons. And I mean, you go. That's what it is.
It is a virus. Okay, it is nobody's fault. It is a virus.
It's Donald Trump's fault.
No, it's not
Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump is the one who was going out and pulling out ventilators and you know
whether or not you believe whether he did what he did in a timely manner, whether or not you believe he was behind the curve, whether or not you believe he was ahead of the curve.
It's telling you
it doesn't matter. It was people. It wasn't. You can't say that he is responsible for the deaths of these people.
Too late. He already did. He already did.
But yeah, it's irresponsible to say that.
Michigan has begun
too late.
Coronavirus outbreaks in schools statewide.
Yeah.
Information is
come on.
provided by 45 health departments in its first report.
That's the problem. The virus has become political.
Correct.
How can a virus become bipartisan political? How's that work?
It's not bipartisan. It's partisan.
That's true. Well, depending on who you talk to.
It ain't bipartisan.
I mean, but why is everything political? Why is everything political these days? Everything.
Because
everything is political.
Because in my estimation, that's what the left wants.
I mean, everything.
Here's what I think. You want to know what I think? I think the left thinks that we as a community of people in the United States, I think they want to scare, they want to lie, they want to mislead so that you feel as a victim, and they are the ones that will save you from it. That's it.
Okay, I can see your thinking there.
How about this, Dave? Look at this. We have 10 years left on this planet. If we don't make necessary actions to this world, we will not be able to provide a sustainable environment for our future, for your children, for your grandchildren. What bigger victim than the world, than everybody in the world?
Sure. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Sure we got more than 10 years. Just saying.
Yeah, I would say so.
So
I just don't know why. I mean,
it's myth, truths, it's lies.
It was like what you were talking. It was like what you were talking about yesterday with the Emmys, and all the political statements that they make.
Get out
at the
of here
Emmys.
with that garbage. That's terrible.
Not everything is political. Not everything falls on one side or the other.
But see, here's what you have to understand. The left hates Donald Trump so much Hollywood hates Donald Trump so much that there is no in between. It's not like you can say oh, he's done some good things, and I don't like everything he's done, but they can't even do that.
Right.
Can't even do it. It's all or nothing. You're either a detractor of Donald Trump, you hate him, you think he's a xenophobe, homophobe, all the phobes, or you love him and all of his supporters are xenophobes, homophobes, Islamophobic, the whole thing.
There's no gray area.
No gray area. It's black and white.
Call 248-681-8000. 248-681-8000. Welcome home to Magnolia by the Lakes Independent and Assisted Senior Resort. Care, comfort, luxury.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now sitting in for Frank Beckmann, here's Chris Renwick.
Joe Biden back at it again yesterday in Wisconsin, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And now, as you've heard, I'm sure you've seen that new ads running that Donald Trump is responsible for the deaths of everybody from COVID-19. He is to blame. All that blood is on his hands, all of it. People have lost parents, brothers, sisters, grandparents, daughters, father. I mean, the whole thing. I lost everyone, and it's all Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump says the handling of the coronavirus pandemic, saying that the president panicked in the face of an outbreak that has so far claimed nearly 200,000 lives in the U.S. We hear him say privately that this is a deadly virus, far more deadly than the flu. But that's not what he was saying to us. So what's his explanation? He said he didn't want the American people to panic. He didn't want to panic them. Trump panicked. The virus was too big for him. Now, I will say this. I don't know that I necessarily agree with the president in saying that he didn't want to panic the American public. Now, it could very well be true that he didn't want to cause panic among retailers, among grocery stores. I mean, hell, how long did it take you to get a 4-pack of toilet paper? Because everyone was going out and buying toilet. I mean, there are certain avenues where I can understand the thought of not wanting to panic the American public, because they're going to go out and they're going to buy, and nobody's going to be left with things. People are going to become, a doomsday preppers. But at some point, in my estimation, letting the American people know what we're up against is a good thing. We're adults. We're okay. But Joe Biden now peddling this crap. Due to Donald Trump's lies and incompetence in the past 6 months, we have seen one of the gravest losses of American life in history. Don't fall for this. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Don't let somebody like Joe Biden influence your way of thinking in terms of whose fault this is. This is a virus. It's a virus. It didn't really seem like there was a lot that could be done in hindsight. Sounds like to me the president took some meaningful action. I think he had Sanjay Gupta the other day talking about if Trump didn't close air travel to China, to and from China, that maybe less people would have died. Less people would have died. Yes. I mean, how does that make it? Again, show me the information. Hey, Joe, show me the info. Show me the info that Donald Trump is responsible for one death. Show me the info. I haven't seen it. You can make claims like that, but don't expect the American people to buy that crap. That's all. So again, Donald Trump is working with a capable group of doctors and people who have been advising him, it doesn't really sound like it's not like Donald Trump is doing a 180 from what he's being told half the time. So I'm just telling you, don't fall for that. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. That's the number for you to call or text if you want to weigh in on this. Feel free. But it's just like Russia, right? So we know Russia went out and bought ads and sent out memes on Facebook, right? We know that. They never changed a vote at the ballot box. They never hacked into a voting machine. That never happened. But if you, as a consumer of social media, go out there and look at a meme and determine a presidential vote on that, it ain't Russia's fault. I got news for you. It's that voter's fault. So don't blame Russia. It's a silly way to meddle. And now you've got Biden trying to scare you. You can't vote for this president because he's got blood on his hands, essentially, is what he's telling you. You can't buy it. Don't buy that. Show me the information, back it up, and give me the information that says Donald Trump has been directly responsible for killing one person due to coronavirus. It's all I'm asking for is one. And then you can substantiate all that information. I'm here for you. So you've got what? Kamala Harris is in town today, and you'll hear much of the same. Donald Trump's fault. And now, and now we've got these reports, right? That if indeed they decide on Capitol Hill and Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump, if they decide to go out and do their jobs, heaven forbid, and nominate a Supreme Court justice and vote on it in the Supreme Court, vote on it in the Senate, then you got Joe Biden's going to drop out of a debate. Oh, isn't that convenient? Like Joe Biden needs another excuse to not debate Donald Trump. All right, couple breaking news stories. I'll give you one now and then one coming up at 10:18. So we knew that Donald Trump was going to make his announcement on the Supreme Court later this week, Friday, Saturday. And now Donald Trump says he will, in fact, announce his Supreme Court nominee on Saturday. We'll talk about the contenders next, and we'll get to the other breaking news story. A member of the Senate has finally broken word on whether or not they would vote on a Supreme Court nominee. We'll tell you who that is and what they said coming up next at 10:18. All right, more on the Frank Beckmann Show coming up. First, off to the roadways we go at 10:13 with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Everstream, the business-only fiber network.
At Everstream, the business-only fiber network, we believe business deserves better. Everstream's full-service approach to business connectivity delivers the speed and reliability that businesses demand. Everstream, faster fiber, better business.
Accident out there, 275 southbound at 7 Mile. That collision is unfortunately blocking 2 lanes, seeing delays from at least 8 Mile. That collision blocking your left lanes. A new accident 94 eastbound at Wadhams. This is in St. Clair. It is blocking the left side. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. They also provide pre-screened quality tenants to their property owners. They love to match good people to good homes. Contact them today, northbloomfield.com.
Can't rule out a shower to our north as we get into the early afternoon. Other than that, most of us dry, lots of sunshine. Might see a few clouds at times, 76. Tonight, 53 and clear. Sunny tomorrow, 80. Thursday, cloud sunshine with a high once again right around 80. from the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with spinal stenosis? I'm Dr.
Hey, everybody. Let's see here. Good morning, Lonnie. Brian says, oh, let's hear. Well, let's go up to Bill. Bill first. Dr. Fauci was pulling the strings. Biden is out of control. It was unbelievable feat to get where we were and where we are now. I agree. I mean, it seems to me that Donald Trump really took most of the advice, at least, of Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx. He was iffy on the mask thing at first, but he came around. I mean, again, show me the information that says Donald Trump not promoting masks killed people. That's all. It's all I'm asking for. But if you can't show it to me, don't throw that crap out there. That's all I'm saying. Maria, Biden followers have been posting that Trump is responsible for all these deaths for the last few weeks. I don't get it. Brian, he had meetings every day. He brought titans of industry together to get testing up fast, PPE made, and ventilators built. Yeah, I agree. Milani, good morning, Chris. How do the polling companies make their money? Who pays them for their efforts? That's a good question. I mean, we can do some, we'll try to dig up some information on that. By the way, outstanding show once again. Thank you. It's very nice.
Okay, Chris, your guest is on the line.
Okay, we'll get to him at probably coming up here. Shortly.
Sure. I let him know.
David Horowitz's new book, Blitz. But Donald Trump Jr. says bypass them and get Blitz. Now a runaway New York Times bestseller. Mike Huckabee, Mark Levin, and Rudy Giuliani all say you should get it. Blitz says Trump has a big surprise coming soon. Get Blitz at bookstores or check out the free offer for Blitz and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to blitz411.com. Blitz411.com. Get Blitz today.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Now, what did I tell you yesterday? You remember? Regarding the Supreme Court vote in the Senate, what did I tell you? Who did I tell you was going to be one of the most important votes in that chamber? I told you it was Mitt Romney. And look, it was easy for Mitt to go out and say, I think the president should be impeached. He knew the Republicans didn't have. He knew the Republicans had the votes. He wasn't going to get convicted. So yeah, it's easy. But what was he going to do on the Supreme Court vote? Where did he stand on it? Well, now we have an answer. I told you Mitt Romney was the vote to watch. So now news this morning, Mitt Romney, the senator from Utah, supports holding a vote on the next Supreme Court nominee. Senator Mitt Romney said he would support a floor vote on President Donald Trump's Supreme Court, essentially clinching consideration of Donald Trump's nominee this year despite the impending election. Just two Republican senators have asked for the party to put on the brakes. Lisa Murkowski from Alaska and Susan Collins from Maine. And with that 53-seat majority, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell now has the votes he needs to move forward with the nominee to replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So that is there for you as well. You can react. Tell me what you think. Donald Trump says he's going to throw out a name on Saturday. He's going to make his nominee. So it looks like this is happening. So I'm just wondering if Nancy Pelosi is sharpening her arrows in the quiver, because now it's going to get dicey. Now it's, what is Nancy Pelosi going to do? It doesn't really seem like they have a lot of arrows. She says they've got them. I don't think impeachment's one of them. I don't think she can do it. I really don't. I think this is happening. So, with that being said, what is your reaction to this? Mitt Romney now on board to vote on the president's Supreme Court nomination in the Senate. In a release, he says, I intend to follow the Constitution and precedent in considering the president's nominee. If the nominee reaches the Senate floor, I intend to vote based on their qualifications, the Utah Republican said. Now, let's play a fun little game here. Do you believe that perhaps Mitt Romney would vote no? We know that he and President Donald Trump have not gotten along. After the impeachment vote, President Donald Trump basically called him out. So what do you think about that? 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. That's there for you. It's going to be very interesting come Saturday. I mean, I think, again, we have a good idea of where this is going. I mean, this is going to a vote. So what are those arrows, Nancy? Excited to see. 800-859-0957. All right. You know that we've worked very closely at WJR with Grace Centers of Hope. Just an outstanding, they're a faith-based group, a program to help those affected by homelessness, addiction, and abuse here in Southeast Michigan. It's a tremendous program. And once again, we're partnering with them as part of our WJ Cares program to try to help them out, right? And we know that this area is so giving, and it never stops with you, our listener, and we so much appreciate it. And to help me talk about this new program, Pastor Kent Clark from Grace Centers of Hope, the CEO, joins us this morning here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Pastor, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Chris. I'm honored to be with you this morning.
Oh, it's an honor to have you on. Look, I'm excited to talk about this. The 205 Meals Program, which essentially is $2.05, and it provides a needed, nutritious meal to those who are taking advantage of your terrific services at Grace Centers of Hope. Talk to me about what that 205 program, that 205 Meals Program is.
Well, we are fastly approaching the holidays. November and December are tremendous months for us here. Actually, right now in the month of September, we're filled. We served 189,600 meals last year, and I think we're going to top that this year. So as we did last year, we've talked to WJR listeners about buying a meal ticket for $2.05. That will provide one person just a great, nutritious meal. We say, the first step when you get to Grace Centers is to have that good hot meal.
And so that $2.05 again provides a nutritious meal. You can spend $25.10, which feeds 10 people. And if you are giving, and even more so, the more that you spend, basically the more that you'll help. And you can visit gracecentersofhope.org, or you can go to wjr.org and just give a gift. That's it. It can be as little as $2. I mean, look, Pastor, I imagine you don't shy away from any donation.
We don't, indeed, and especially the last 5 months have been terrific months here. Lots of folks coming to us during the COVID epidemic. And still, we're getting ready, as I said, for the holidays. Any donations can help. I might say this about Grace Centers. We're very unique in this sense. We're taking the homeless, due to primarily drug abuse, to home ownership in just actually in 3-4 years. So, and we receive no government funding. It's the American people giving back and helping Grace Centers to do what we do. And we have tremendous success in seeing those things happen. So listeners have been the best to us. America is the greatest country in the world, and the most giving people in the world. This is how to help us get over this and past this drug addiction, and especially right now with the COVID problem.
And Pastor, if I may, the one of the most special things to me about Grace Centers of Hope, and obviously I know this is important to Frank and close to Frank's heart, but you don't seek out or receive government funding. I mean, you are strictly funded by our community, and it I'm sure it means so much to you and to the people that you serve, that other members in the community have, when you're donating, you have a vested interest in this, and you're looking to directly help people. And so that's why it's so important today. Head on over to gracecentersofhope.org or wjr.com and just give a gift. Look, $2.05 will provide a nutritious meal for men, women, children who are part of your program and looking for help. And it's so important. And I know that you're going to do really well today, and we appreciate everything you do for people in our community.
Thank you, Chris. Honored to be with you.
Yep, you got it. There he is, Pastor Kent Clark, the CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. Again, gracecentersofhope.org or wjr.com, and just go on there, give what you can. $2.05. It feeds somebody. It's important. All right, more to come here on the Frank Beckmann Show, but at 10:27, off we go to the roadways. Check things out with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile Business Advantage. Get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans via bill credits when you switch, plus taxes and fees. Stop by for details. Over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. See T-Mobile.com.
Still watching an accident out there, a couple of them, and a new one on the board. Lodge northbound at Telegraph. Collision there blocks the left lane. Earlier crash, 94 eastbound at Wadhams. That incident is now clear. Now we have a closure along 275 southbound at 7 Mile. Traffic stop from 8 Mile. Please seek an alternate route. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, pull ahead your lease and take advantage of 0 interest for up to 84 months or sign and drive lease program. End of the month deals. Open special hours is Saturday 9 to 3. Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. We are expecting it to be plenty of sunshine to kick off the season of fall. A high of 76 tonight, clear skies. Your low 54. Lots of sunshine on Wednesday, hump day, a high of 81. Sunshine, 59 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
At Grace Centers of Hope, we provide support to the homeless, abused, and addicted, while teaching traditional values and instilling Christian principles. With the current state we are in because of the $2.05 to provide a nutritious meal for someone in need. Imagine how many people you can help by making a donation of $20, $30, or even $50. We need your help. This is Pastor Kent W. Clark, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope, asking you to please support our $2.05 meal campaign by making a donation to provide a meal for someone in need. To make a donation or for more information, call 1-855-HELP-GCH or visit gracecentersofhope.org.
Detroit's News Talk.
Good morning.
760.
Temperature's going to rise.
If
you missed this,
J.
let me quickly ask you something.
R.
Is it just me? There have been 179 new arrests in a federal opioid crackdown. Senate Republicans are confident they prepare to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat left by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Here's Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham says Republicans have the votes to confirm a replacement before the election, telling Fox's Sean Hannity.
Chris, you're back.
Hello. So what else we got going on here?
Get ready for waiting on your next guest to call.
Okay.
During an election year.
Applies even more so now. More so. So much closer we are to an election.
Two more Republicans, Senators Chuck Grassley and Cory Gardner, now say they support moving forward. Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
Joan Larson of Michigan, one of the candidates.
Danielle mocking me? That is not very nice.
No, I don't think so. By
Maria,
the way,
is that Danielle singing in the background?
Yes. That was Danielle singing. Yes.
Larson is a
Yes.
But I'm not allowed to ask her what she thought of Danielle singing.
Why?
Because Danielle says that you would say that she's flat.
She is flat. That's not my opinion. It's true. It's my learned ear.
See?
Yep.
Chris is a meanie guy.
I'm not mean. I'm just telling you the truth.
He's the Simon Cowell of my life.
You've never been
Danielle-
sharp. You've never been sharp. It's always been flat.
Danielle says that you are the Simon Cowell of her life.
I see, but that's not. I don't wear tight like undershirts though.
You don't?
No, it's not. I can't be the Simon Cowell of her life.
And you didn't fall off an electric bike and break your back?
How do you feel about the irreconcilable differences within our divided country now that it is absolutely the new permanent reality? Look, Chris, I don't know. I very much hope that this is not our new reality. I hope very much that we're able to get out of this, because it's not a good place to be. It doesn't feel good. I can tell you that.
And she'll travel to Detroit this afternoon for a couple of events. The search continues for the driver behind the hit and run that killed a road worker yesterday on the eastbound I-94 in St. Clair Shores. A 26-year-old road worker from Chesterfield Township was the one who was killed.
Hey, Dave, I just want to make sure that our next guest, I have the name right. Will you get a pronunciation on that for me?
I will.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Just get it for me and then put it in the window over there.
I will.
Bill, I was very disillusioned by Mitt Romney. Then I was angry. I supported him, and I can't believe how he totally turned. To hear that he would vote on this is a great sign. Mark Levin suggested the two women senators vote present instead of voting no. The yeses can still take the vote. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Susan Collins if they have the votes, if they actually have the votes, then I'm not so sure that they don't vote yes anyway. Chris, it's absolutely the reality. You actually contribute to it. I mean, there's no contribution here. We're just giving you reality. We're giving you
More coming up with Chris Renwick.
just sane thought.
Henry Ford Health System. We've always been all for you. But what does that mean as we begin offering more services and lead our community through a pandemic? It means we're all for revitalizing Michigan through of its people, all for preventing illness as aggressively as we treat it. And especially now, it means being all for cleaning up, wiping off, scrubbing down, and repeating. Because we're all for getting back to the innovative care we're known for, and all for heart attacks stopped, cancer eradicated, and new life delivered. In uncertain times, know this. Henry Ford Health System is all for your family, our community, and the health of this great state. Because we're all for opening our doors, hearts, and minds for you. Henry Ford Health System. All for you. See everything we're doing to maintain a safe, clean environment at henryford.com/all for safety.
Hey guys, four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty.
Hi, Aaron, how are
here
you?
For Pain Free Life Centers, and guys, let's be honest.
when I played.
Good.
As a
How do you
professional,
pronounce your last name?
You know, when I rolled out of bed and I was aching, well, I was getting paid for it.
Perini.
Pain
Okay,
was
hang
part
tight.
of
We'll
the
get you right
job.
on with Chris, okay?
Nobody's paying me to be in pain these days.
Thank you.
I seek to be out of pain. That's what Pain Free Life Centers has given me. The FDA approved high intensity, high dosage laser treatment. Let your body heal at the cellular level with no pills, no surgeries, no side effects, no injections. So you walk out of there feeling amazing. Trust me, if it can help me with all.
Chris, please be honest. You're stirring the pot. There's no stirring the pot. This is common sense stuff. It's just common sense. That's all it is.
And first treatment or
You got that in the message there on the pronunciation.
nothing to lose.
Thank you.
But your pain. Make your appointment. Call 248-879-1100 or go to painfreelifecenters.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank. Here's Chris Renwick.
All right, if you're on the line, hold tight. We're going to get to you in just a minute. All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. We know Kamala Harris is in town today. She'll be in Flint and I believe Detroit. But also the Trump bus is rolling through Michigan. And on that bus, yesterday we talked about it a little bit. And today, Aaron Perini, who's the director of press communications for Donald Trump's 2020 campaign, is now with us on the Frank Beckmann Show. Aaron, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. So you're rolling around the Trump bus today. Yesterday, we talked to Ronna McDaniel, and she mentioned all the great snacks and amenities that are on the bus. So I'm sure you're experiencing all the same. But you guys are rolling around talking to voters. What's that?
It's a nice way to travel.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are rolling around today. What are you hearing from voters? What's the message on the ground?
What we're hearing is record enthusiasm for President Trump. What we're promises made are promises kept. And voters all across Michigan know what's at stake. They know that the radical Democrats really want to try and upend not only our election system, but the sovereignty of our nation. And they don't want to see that. What they're seeing in these Democrat-run cities really worries them. And they've seen Joe Biden. They've seen him ship jobs overseas into other countries, and they don't want any of that. They want America First leadership. So the enthusiasm is high. We've got 42 days to go. This is just one of the bus tour stops you're going to see, and we're going to continue to be out there talking to voters every day from now until Election Day, because really this is just such a critical election for the country.
We've seen now, yesterday, I believe it was, Joe Biden in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, basically laying all these deaths due to COVID-19 at the feet of the president. And unfortunately, he provided no information to that theory. And he's running ads on the same. I mean, it's really hard to take those comments seriously when we just don't have any hard facts on it. And throwing things out there just to see if they stick is kind of dangerous, I believe.
Absolutely, but this is what Joe Biden has done, and he continues to kind of get away with it from the liberal media when they just allow him the outrageous claims that every single death from COVID falls to the president. Listen, President Trump mourns every life lost through the coronavirus, but Joe Biden, if he had been in the White House at this point in the administration, would have cost us so many more lives, because while President ending up resources, and not only standing up resources, but stopping incoming flights from China, Joe Biden was calling that hysterical xenophobia. I mean, Joe Biden was behind the ball the entire way on coronavirus, while President Trump was leading on this. So Joe Biden really, I mean, he really needs to kind of sit down on this one, because we also see when a pandemic, Joe Biden, H1N1, his own advisors, his former chief of staff, Ron Clay, said, we got lucky that we didn't have a catastrophe on our hands, because they admitted they did everything in that.
You talked about the unprecedented support that the president has going into the November election here in a couple of weeks. We've always heard about that silent majority, and obviously it very much existed back in 2016. We've talked to people who are kind of at the ground level, like where you're at now, and The message is that not only does that still exist, but it's even bigger than it was in 2016. And I guess I'm wondering if that's what you're seeing, not even just in Michigan, but across the country.
Oh, absolutely. I've been crisscrossing the country on behalf of President Trump and the campaign, and really that silent majority still very much exists. I mean, polling even shows that people are worried about retribution if they were to stand up and say they support President Trump. They're worried about their livelihoods and that people would try to go after them for supporting this president. So we see that everywhere we go. You hear car horns all the time as we're driving across this country. And listen, when people go into the polling booth, it's a very personal thing where people have to make that decision of what's best for themselves, best for their family. And time and again, we know that people want to support this president and want 4 more years. And here, listen, even if you look at Fox News' polls, which I can get into all the reasons why they're flawed, but even if you just look at it for where it stands right now, there is a 2-point gap between what they say is the approval of President Trump and people who say they are voting for President Trump. So even at the most basic level, you see it in polling. If you support the man, why would you not vote for him? If you approve of the job he's doing, why would you not vote for him? So even pollsters are missing it, even when it's sitting right in front of them. And a lot of our people won't answer the phone, won't talk to pollsters. They don't want to do any of that. That's that silent majority, the forgotten men and women of America who are forgotten no more.
And finally, I want to get your take on this as well, and maybe what you're hearing from people today on the Trump bus. But obviously, the president says he told us earlier this week that he was going to name a nomination to the Supreme Court on Friday or Saturday. Now we know that day is Saturday, and now we even get word that Mitt Romney's on board to vote on this. Would just love your reaction to it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, President Trump is fulfilling his constitutional duty here to make sure that he puts up a qualified individual to sit on the highest court in the nation. We look forward to this process going forward in the U.S. Senate as they do their constitutional role of advising consent. And unlike Joe Biden, who refuses to put up a list of people he would even consider for the seat, President Trump, then candidate Trump, did it in 2016. And even before the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, he put up more names of people he would consider for the seat. So we know people is the person who's going to look forward to hearing from the president-to-be.
Erin Perini, Director of Press Communications for President Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the day. All right, there she is. More on the Frank Beckmann Show coming up. Your calls and your text next. But first, we must take a pit stop. See what I did there? Check things out with Dana Clark on our roadway. Dana.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile Business Advantage. Get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans via bill credits when you switch, plus taxes and fees. Stop by for details. Over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. See T-Mobile.com.
Oh, Chris, you're so clever. Let's roadways. We have a closure, unfortunately, 275 southbound at 7 Mile. Closed due to an accident, seeing delays from at least 8 Mile. Seek an alternate route. That's your best bet. Earlier accident, 94 eastbound at Wadhams Road. That one is clear. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Chris Furniture. Chris Furniture is offering a special on CR Lane, top-of-the-line sofas, love seats, and chairs with your choice of style, fabric, and colors made in the USA from their family to yours. Chris Furniture, open by appointment only 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Call 734-427-3080.
Well, showers from earlier that passed well north of us will continue to do so as we get into the afternoon. Some clouds, otherwise mostly sunny. That should do for the first day of fall. 76. Tonight, clear 53. Suburbs 40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 80. Thursday, a mix of clouds and sunshine with a high near 80. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
The virtual Detroit Jazz Festival presented by Rocket Mortgage didn't miss a beat. The Labor Day weekend tradition, all virtually online, TV and radio.
Okay, Chris. New lineup of callers for you, and the chat for you.
Okay, thank you. Patrick says hi, Danielle. Hi, Danielle from Patrick.
Danielle waved at the camera for him.
Okay, good. Maria, common sense seems to have flown out the window. I don't believe Chris is stirring the pot. Mostly everything Chris comments on is questioning how some people can believe things like Trump is responsible for 200,000 deaths. Chris will speak up about things he doesn't and doesn't support regarding Trump. He has even supported some things Wimmer does. Of course. Of course. We can't live in a world where everything is you have to break things down individually and judge them and what you believe on all of those things. I don't subscribe to the fact that everything of one party is good or bad. I can't do that, because that's not how life is. That's not the world that we live in. Patrick, Chris the Freep just posted an article saying there's a video of Repeal 45 trainers telling collectors how to illegally collect signatures. Yes, I have the story. We're going to talk about it. And again, common sense, right, Patrick? They tell them you can leave the sheets at friends' stores, but you're supposed to witness the signatures and such. Correct. It is illegal on a petition drive to collect signatures that you do not see. You don't actually witness somebody signing. So yes, that is illegal. But again, I want you to consider, again, common sense, right? Consider the source. So this person who submitted a video of this is somebody from Keep Michigan Safe, who collected a few signatures and turned in a check for $17.50, because I get, I think, $3.50 for each signature that they collect. So after the training session that was in question, a member of Keep Michigan Safe collected and turned in a few signatures and was issued an in-the-field check for $17.50. A copy of the check dated Thursday was also made available to the Free Press. Now, you have, again, your I don't want to call it your BS meter, but something's got to go up that says, why is somebody from basically an opposition party going in with an undercover camera or something to try to get to it? Just something doesn't smell right. It doesn't pass the smell test for me.
There's time for you to do the same. It's the old where there's smoke, there's fire, is what you're saying?
It just feels a little weird. Now, to be fair, you shouldn't be advising people to break the law. That's wrong. I mean, if they have enough signatures that they legally collected, then fine. But you can't break the law. I'm in full agreement with that.
All right, Chris. Mike Parsons will be taking over for the last hour.
Okay, good.
I will
finally somebody who knows what to do.
I will. Listen, the guy's got jokes. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
So again, you'll have somebody not knowing what to do. All right.
David. All right. What are you doing? Are you what's going on here? Why are you leaving us?
I'm heading to the golf course.
Oh, the golf course.
Yes, this was something that was planned. So
I see.
Yes. Not that it's any more important than working with my favorite film and talk show host, Chris Renwick.
I don't know. It seems like it's more important to me.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. Let's get right to the phone. Let's go to Rochester and Dave. Good morning, David.
Good morning. How are you, Chris?
Good. What can I do for you?
Romney. What made anyone think this wasn't a done deal and that Romney would be one of the five? The whole issue was the 37 gutless GOP senators, and Romney wasn't one. He wasn't even in the Senate, who said on the record it had nothing to do with the Biden rule. It had nothing to do with divided government. It was because the people needed to decide the election was within a year. He wasn't one of them. Bukowski was one, but she kept her word on it. And Collins was the third one. So who thought there'd be a fourth or fifth one to come from this group anyway? And by the way, what made you think Romney didn't make a tough vote? What made you think that it wasn't a vote of honor and judgment versus an expedient vote on the impeachment?
Well, he can vote however he wants. I don't understand your point. What's your point?
Your point was, okay, you know, you're saying the whole reason why Romney switched was the essence of the subject. He's not a liberal Democrat. So there's no reason why they wouldn't vote for this guy, aside from if you're one of the senators who gave some BS reason back in 2016 for not even taking up a vote. But Romney wasn't like an easy vote. I think he suggested it was like no big deal for him. The point is, there's a principal vote in both cases, both on you have an open vacancy, so of course he's going to vote for it. He's not a liberal. He's not even a moderate. He's a conservative.
Okay, but people were wondering whether or not he was actually going to vote in favor of this or fall in line with Murkowski or Collins, because he voted to impeach Donald Trump. So the question was, does he align more with the Democrats who think that this should be held on until after the election, or did he feel that it was in his constitutional duty to vote on this if it was presented in front of him? And he says he's going to look at somebody's merit and then vote on it.
My point is apples and oranges. Was the impeachment vote was a vote based on what the true nature of the crime and justice was. On this particular case, it was part of the law. It's totally it's totally legal for Mitch McConnell to do what he did and what the Republicans did in both instances. Okay, all they had to do in 2016 is say, because I can, as opposed to go on record and look like a fool now, where those words on record for like 30, aside from Murkowski, 36 other GOP senators. And Romney was not in that group.
Well, okay, and that's fine. Dave, I appreciate the call, Dave. I appreciate it. Look, to me, I told you yesterday that Mitt Romney was going to be the one to watch. And now he says he's going to vote for it. So there you go. I mean, the questions surrounding Romney were real. He voted for impeachment against Donald Trump. He voted to convict him. So a lot of people were wondering where Mitt Romney's loyalties lie. You know, now there's a report out there that he wants to be Secretary of State for Joe Biden. So, you know, the Mitt Romney vote was very important in this situation, whether or not that this was really going to go through or not. And now, if Donald Trump nominates, he says it will be a woman. So if he nominates a competent woman to hold that seat, then I don't see why he would vote against it. I suppose he could vote against it. That would be his he's doing his job still. But Mitt Romney was a big question mark. Let's go to Ipsy and talk to Sam. Good morning, Sam. Hey, Sam.
Comment earlier. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What's up, man?
I said very witty on the pit stop comment earlier.
It's not my best moment.
Anyways, earlier you had Grace Hope Centers, or what is it? Hope Centers of Grace?
Centers of Hope. Grace Centers of Hope.
Grace Centers of Hope. And then they had an ad on right after that. And he talked about Christian principles in the ad. Mm-hmm. And the main Christian principle is life, right? The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. And that's the issue that nobody's bringing up right now is everybody's been praying for life for the unborn. And that's one of the main reasons why Trump was elected, is because he was an advocate for life. Here's the situation that everybody's been praying for, and Trump is going to exercise it and be a doer of the word. So I represent the vocal majority in saying that, but nobody's saying that right now, maybe because Ginsburg's death is too fresh, but everybody has been praying for life, and this is an answer to prayer.
Well, fair enough, Sam. I mean, look, that will be a major topic of conversation. I appreciate the call. But yeah, that will be that. Look, Roe is going to be front and center. That will be the hot button issue that will be talked about for a very long time, whether or not it's before the election or after the election or before a vote or after a vote. That will be a major topic. Let's go to Mike in Fenton. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Chris. How are you today?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Well, I got a letter yesterday from my homeowners association titled Political Advertising. And they're citing the bylaws, and this says no signs or other advertising devices of any kind that are visible from the exterior of a unit or in the common elements, including any for sale signs other than the standard size for sale signs customarily employed by real estate brokers and builders, shall be displayed without written permission from the association. Then the next paragraph, they tell me, after discussing the situation and going off the bylaws, the board has decided that no political advertising in black dark letters will be allowed by the association. Any signs or other advertising items must be, again, dark letters, removed immediately from all units. Any violation of this rule will result in the board starting the fining process. Now, I was so irate when I got this letter. I immediately called the guy that sent it to us, left a message, no response, called today, left a message, no response. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. However, isn't it my right under the First Amendment to express my views?
Well, that would be my understanding, Mike. I mean, that's how I understand it.
So maybe I should start the fining process against them. I'm sure there's a plethora of lawyers out there that would take it. They're always advertising.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would, I wouldn't take my advice. I'll give you free advice, but it wouldn't be good advice. So I would, if I were you, I would look around. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Do you have a Trump sign out? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
have you seen Biden signs?
There's one out of 4. There's one, and the rest are all Trump.
All right. Well, I would maybe do some due diligence, see if the Biden sign person had a letter too. I mean, I don't know, but don't take my word for it. Get somebody well more qualified than me in that side. Mike, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Let's go to the roadways with Ardana Clark. Get an update there.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile Business Advantage. Get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans via bill credits when you switch, plus taxes and fees. Stop by for details. Over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. See T-Mobile.com.
Still looking at that closure, Chris, along 275 southbound at 7 Mile. Closed there due to an accident. Traffic delayed from at least 8 miles. Seek an alternate route. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, pull ahead your lease and take advantage of zero interest for up to 84 months or sign and drive lease program. End of month deals. Open special hours is Saturday 9 to 3. Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Well, fall is here. It's going to feel not too bad outside, though. Plenty of sunshine, a high of 76 tonight. Clear skies, your low 54. Sunshine, currently 59 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Even more so if they're
What'd you do?
Oh, hi, Michael.
Hi there.
How are you?
Well, that's weird. Hold on. I got to remove myself and unremove myself because Danielle says it's not working. Okay. Tell me if I go away, okay?
You went away.
Am I back?
You're back. You
All
did go
right.
away, and now you're back. Well done.
Yes. Dave left.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he had something to do, so I didn't mind helping him out.
Yes, Jim, have you checked the underside of that mic stand to see if the bolt isn't twisting when you try to tighten the nut? You know, it's funny because, yes, it did. It used to, but for some reason, wherever I got it now, it doesn't. So I hit the sweet spot, I think.
What did I miss, Chris? You got to fill me in on
No,
the
Jim
first part of
knows.
the show.
I mean, look, Jim knows. Jim has been watching the show for long enough. He knows that I like to move my mic. It's like I don't know if it's like a crutch or if it's something. I'm always moving my mic. And so I think Jim was wondering if the nut on my mic stand was moving when I moved the mic too. But in this case, it's not. So that's good.
I think you should keep it because when you're moving your microphone, it makes no sound.
True. Yeah, no, it's pretty silent, so that's good.
Yeah, I would keep it that way.
Yeah. So what's going on, Michael? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is kind of like a crossover episode right now.
It is. This is the Frank Beckmann and Guy Gordon crossover episode.
This is like the Avengers in the WJR universe.
Yes.
Or would we be the Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the Avengers is cooler.
Yeah, that's true. I want to be Groot because he's strong, he's sturdy, but he's a strong silent type.
Right. That's a good point.
So if you've been wondering where Clay has been, he went back to work the other day. So Patrick filled us in.
Every collection from that group, Trained Collectors, needs to be audited. Oh, that's regarding the Unlock Michigan story that we had talked about a little bit.
Oh, yes. Danielle was, I don't know if you guys were talking about this, but Danielle was telling me that she's reading an article that you can get a $1 ribeye steak at the dollar store or the Dollar Tree. Yeah.
No.
I would try it. I would try like a bite just out of out of complete morbid curiosity.
I don't know that I could. I really don't know that I could.
I'd be nervous to eat anything more than a bite, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's 2020,
Right.
Life is short. Try a dollar store steak. Might make it shorter.
Your life may be shorter.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Try a dollar store steak from China, maybe. Who knows where a dollar store steak comes from?
It's interesting. When I was in college, we had a dollar store in Kalamazoo. I went to Western, and we had a dollar store there, and we decided to go get some food from the dollar store. We're like, well, that'll be cheaper. All the food that we got was inedible. We couldn't eat any of it.
What did you get at the dollar store? I would imagine you could get some ramen, which would be passable. I love the snack zone at the but what did you get at the dollar store?
We got like bread. We got queso, like canned queso. We got.
What'd you say, Daniel?
I don't know, a couple of things. It was just all inedible. You just couldn't eat any of it. It was terrible.
Got bread.
Are you still seeing me okay, Michael?
Maybe yeah. Are you having issues?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I see you great.
Okay, good.
I think what I'm going to do is the rest of the show, I'm going to take the headset off so that Danielle can hear what we're talking about, because she was. Oh, Danielle's gets her reading in, so she'd rather not be disturbed, actually. That's multitasking. I have a hard time reading when I'm just doing nothing. So let's see here. Patrick says he knows someone that loves dollar store wings.
Oh,
Again,
no.
I would try it.
I don't know. I don't know that I could try that. I don't know.
I think maybe what I'll do is I'll go to the dollar store, try all this food, and then take like 2 weeks off in case I get violently ill.
For real.
Yeah. What should we buy, Danielle? What? Danielle suggests the sriracha ketchup from the Dollar Tree. You know what? Condiments are fine because they're your normal name brand condiments. They're just like smaller. You know, you get like a shot glass of mustard. Yeah.
All right, we got some callers on the line. I want to try to get back to them.
Yeah, we got Denise from Trenton, and then we got one on hold. But I'm sure once you get back on, those will fill up quickly.
All right, cool.
I'm ready for the calm before the storm here. Yeah, that could be a side effect of dollar store meat. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
You know, I saw all the kitchen supplies at the dollar store, and I'm like, here I am, paying $5 to $7 for a spatula like a sucker.
Right.
Yeah.
We had to clean out our utensil drawer the other day.
Yeah.
In the kitchen because it was just a mess. We had spatulas coming out of our ears, and we don't use that many spatulas.
Right. You probably got one as like a wedding gift.
Oh, we got a bunch. We got duplicates. It was awful.
Are we back? Oh, hey, you're back. Okay, Denise from Trenton first.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now sitting in for Frank Beckmann, here's Chris Renwick.
All right, we're talking about a lot of stuff today, and it's all on the table for you. And as we enter the 11 o'clock hour, we'll let you kind of rap about what you want to talk about. All right, but we've got Biden talking about Donald Trump is responsible for all the COVID deaths in the country. It's Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't want to panic the American people, but Donald Trump panicked when COVID came knocking on his door. Okay, so that's there for you. Hillary Clinton says McConnell and the GOP are just after power. It's a lust for power in the decision to hold a vote on a presidential nominee for the Supreme Court before an election. Former Democrat President Bill Clinton, former presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, both weighing in on the fight over the seat for the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who accuses Republicans of a lust for power in moving too quickly to confirm Ginsburg's successor. The decision that Senator McConnell made back in 2016 in the midst of that presidential election, but at a much earlier time when Justice Scalia unexpectedly passed, is what should be the standard now. She added that Republicans should be held to account for their previous actions. Well, it's very simple. Secretary Clinton, I just urge you to run for office and pass constitutional amendments, pass a new law, anything that you feel would accomplish that. But until you do that, it doesn't exist. So quite frankly, I don't really care to hear about it. That's there for you. We've got word this morning, breaking during the show. Look, and I told you yesterday, Mitt Romney's name was the one to watch. There's been a lot of question marks surrounding Mitt and his decision to vote in favor of impeachment for Donald Trump and how he would rule in this case. Is he going to fall in line with Susan Collins in Maine and Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, that they just don't want to vote on this? But he was going to be the vote. He was going to be the one to see if they can get this thing through. And he says he wants to vote on it. He's willing to make a move on it. That's a big deal. Look, I would venture a guess. Okay, I can't guarantee it, but I feel pretty confident in saying that whoever Donald Trump chooses is more than qualified to be on the Supreme Court of the United States. Whether that's Amy Coney Barrett of Indiana, or Barbara Lago of Florida, or the Michigan native, former Michigan Supreme Court Justice, Joan Larson. All three of those names are well within their judicial jobs, judicial avenues to take over as a Supreme Court justice. So I don't know that there would be a lot of opposition for those who are willing to vote. So I told you yesterday, Mitt Romney was the name to watch, and now he says he will vote on this. So that's there for you. Lots of apparently businesses in Oakland County, 25% of small businesses have been impacted by COVID-19. 156,000 jobs lost. Now, Dave Coulter has said, the county executive now in Oakland County, has said, look, until this thing is passed, until we have a real solution to COVID, we're just not going to be able to get back to where we need to be. We're kind of going to spin our wheels. Gabriel Ehrlich, the director of the University of Michigan's Research Seminar in Quantitative Economics, agrees. Says the economy cannot recover completely until the public health situation improves and workers can and consumers can go back to their daily lives. Of course, Oakland County, one of the most populated and wealthiest counties in Michigan. And Ehrlich said getting assistance to the county small businesses will be an important step in the county's recovery. So that's there for you as well. And whatever else you want to rap about, we'll talk. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. Let's go out to Trenton and talk to Denise. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning. I was calling, you talked a little bit about the political ads, and you mentioned the Biden ad that's out there now.
Yeah.
You know, my husband and I were talking about this yesterday. There's another one out there about Gary Peters, and it questions his job attendance. And one ad says that the other ad is false and his attendance is good, and the other ad accuses him of poor attendance. And, you know, we were talking like, obviously, there is a legitimate answer here. One of these is dishonest. And I feel like at this point, as voters, we have really no avenue to get educated properly to vote, because a lot of these ads have no credibility. If you saw the Mark Levin interview with the president the other night, he talked about all these different articles and things of that sort that have been written about him that are blatantly false, but he can't even go after these companies because our libel laws for defamation are so screwed up now. So, I mean, how is it possible that people can put these ads out and just misrepresent things and lie in some of these cases and get away with it? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, and it's a good point. And look, it's very easy to be a voter that just follows, right, the sheep. It's very easy to be that voter. It's harder to be an informed voter. You have to actively search out information. And that, unfortunately, it's become harder and harder to find real credible information. And look, you talk to any of the big network news organizations, I mean, it's very difficult to discern fact from opinion anymore. It's all kind of blended together. So yeah, no, it is a problem. And it's becoming increasingly more difficult to be an informed voter in this country. Denise, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Got to run. I'm up against it. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Hey, we're also live on Facebook and on YouTube today, so you can watch the show there. But in the meantime, 11:13, out to the roadways we go. We'll get an update there with our Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by T-Mobile for Business. T-Mobile Business Advantage. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch. Stop by for details. Plus taxes and fees. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p. Unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for details.
Earlier accident, 275 southbound at 7 Mile. That collision is clear. All lanes are open. Also an accident along the Lodge northbound at Telegraph is clear. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Super Car Wash. Super Car Wash is all about making your car shine for just $12.95 a month. You have unlimited access to all 11 Super Car Wash locations throughout Metro Detroit. Their free vacuums and free hand towel drying make Super Car Wash the best in the business. Luke Super, go unlimited today.
Well, cranking out the nice weather here as we head on through early afternoon. A few clouds. Most of the showers stay north of us. A few clouds and sun later, 76. Tonight, cleared out, 53. Suburbs cooler. Wednesday, sunshine, 80. Thursday, cloud sun with a high near 80. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
As we adapt to the new work environment, the sheet metal and air.
Well, just as I thought. Once the segment started, we had full lines.
That's okay. That's good.
Yeah, which is good because it's the plan for the rest of the show. So
That's the plan. All right.
Plan.
I got papers all over the place here. Yeah, I agree with Todd. I would not go that way, Michael.
Oh. I meant to pull that up. Yeah, he cleared out his
you cleared out your drawer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, you have papers all over. And that's a requisite for a talk radio host to just have
stuff.
Just have papers strewn all over the place.
I got that. Check.
Yeah. So Todd was on the line, and he doesn't have a whole lot of minutes to hang on the line. So he's commenting on Facebook here.
Okay. 2013, Reed went to 50 votes and packed all the D.C. Circuit courts. That is why they pushed everything to the Supreme Court. That's interesting. By the way, I don't know if you saw this story now, but the Department of Justice has designated New York, Portland, and Seattle as permitting anarchy. Did you see that?
I did see that. I don't know. I mean, I know what anarchy means, but I don't know what that means for the cities. I mean, are they now subject to disciplinary action? Are they more subject now to the National Guard? What mechanism does that put into place?
Well, basically, those who want like federal funding to help, repair these communities, if you've essentially just allowed this to go on, how can we give you funding?
Right. Oh, I see. So it's not, well, yeah, it's a federal assistance thing where they can say, okay, well, you permitted a chop zone or whatever, and so whatever buildings or whatever damages in that area, you won't get federal funding because you permitted anarchy.
Right.
Yeah. So that you said that was Seattle, Portland, and New York.
Seattle, Portland, and New York City. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I know Seattle and Portland, that, all that stuff has been well publicized with the chop zone and the riots in Portland. I haven't really heard a whole lot about what's been going on in New York, at least when it comes to all this stuff.
Listen and subscribe to the Dennis Miller Option.
Oh, we're coming back.
On Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the one for you, the number for you to call or text. Trying to get caught up here on a few of our texts. Good morning, Chris. If you're voting for Biden because you hate Trump, number one, you're a Democrat anyway, and you'll be voting for Biden. And if you're a Republican, you're going to vote for Biden. You're not a true Republican either. You'd be better off not voting at all. They're chameleons. And everything froze up on me here. Let me see. Let's see. He gave up his rights when he moved to a private association. A private association can write any rules they want, and he has to live with it because it's a private association. Yes. So see, that is a good point. So if you sign if you're part of an HOA and you sign into that, they can dictate what you do essentially, or what's permitted on your property. So I think that's good advice. Look, if nobody would have died of COVID if Trump had done his job, then how did Michigan have such a high death toll with Whitmer running the show here 100%? Someone needs to ask Joe. Good point. Dave in Line Township. All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Should we go to Frank and Romeo? Frank, good morning to you.
Morning, Chris. I really enjoy when you do the show. I'm sorry Frank's not feeling well, but you do a great job.
Oh, well, that's nice. I appreciate it.
I was really upset this morning when I heard about the construction worker who got killed. I've met this on Frank's show before. I drive between 40 and 50,000 miles a year. I'm constantly on all the Michigan roads. You never, and I can say never, it's probably been 5 years since I've seen a state police car or a sheriff's car in a construction area with a radar gun. They just don't patrol those areas. And I hope the governor's listening, or somebody that can get to the head of the state police. They need to start doing their job and start nailing these people. Yesterday, I was coming back on M14, 275, 696, went through construction zones. These people are flying through there at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They
No,
don't
you just
slow down at all.
you just can't do it. I mean, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And I mean, look, you're and when you go through those construction zones, you know, sometimes the ground is tore up, or if they're milling it, and then you've got all the barrels and cones, and I mean, those. It's just a dangerous place to be. It's not a place to be going 80 miles an hour. It just isn't.
Well, in some cases, like on I-75 going north up towards
Right.
Maxwell City, Petoskey area,
Yeah.
they speed up through the zones.
Mm.
It's insane, and I've complained about this a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take, but they need to start hammering people 6 points, $500 fees, first offense, $1,000 jail time. They need to send a signal that in the state of Michigan, you do not speed in a construction zone. And I'm not for one that really wants people to get tickets. It's so funny. The cops will be sitting 3 miles before the construction zone,
Right.
3-4 miles after the construction zone, but you never see them in the construction
Yeah,
zone.
it doesn't do you any good at that point. Unfortunately. Hey, Frank, I appreciate the call. Thank you. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Bob in Bayport. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Chris. I like your show. Big shoes to fill. Doing a great job.
I know. Tell me about it. Thank you. What can I do for you?
Best regards, Frank. You know, I called in before I make my point. If I may, I want to agree with Denise. Your caller from Troy. Good points. Honesty and transparency during the candidacy. Advertising and so forth really needs to be looked at, and a policy written for this. I mean, that's bordering on fraud, if you ask me. But anyway, to my point, I called because I was listening to one of your callers, and you have a discussion about President Trump being called on the carpet for not being more excited during the COVID early announcements. And I liken that to our good friend, a hero of mine, JFK, and the days of October. That why hasn't anyone called him on the carpet for keeping that from the people? It's because, well, I guess the answer would be the same.
Yeah, and look, you're talking about the president with what he said to Bob Woodward?
Yes.
Yeah, and look, I see both sides of it, right? I mean, I understand, like, as a common sense, rational thinking, sometimes intelligent person, I can appreciate the fact that we as a community, we as a country, you know, if you got to give us some hard news, we can take it, and then we can roll with it, and we can prepare and whatever. But I also see the point where you don't want to cause mass hysteria. You don't want to go out and be like, hey guys, look, this is 5 times worse than the flu, and it's serious, and we need to take it seriously, or else, you know, thousands of people are going to die. I can see where that would cause, you know, some mayhem. So I see both sides of the coin. I don't, you know, I'm not going to die on the hill either way. But you know, I think it's okay to be honest with the people, but we got to do it in a way that doesn't cause hysteria. That's all.
Very true. And finally, if I may, wearing the mask, I'll do it as a courtesy for people, but it's a danger to take away our freedoms and so forth. You know, I feel like sometimes we're acting like puppets. It doesn't matter if I wear it at the door of a restaurant and then I sit down and I can eat. That doesn't make sense, and I think we're being played. But have a good morning.
All right, Bob, I appreciate it. Yep, thanks for the call, man. Thank you. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Chelsea and talk to Richard. Good morning, Richard.
Oh, good morning, Chris. Listen, you're doing a great job filling in for Frank.
Oh, thank you.
To alleviate our sadness, every once in a while, I want you to say, at any rate. So he would I'll
I'll do my best.
Okay,
Richard.
but
At any rate, what can I do for you?
Yeah, thank you. Listen, when Mitch McConnell gets the nominee from the president, it's up to him whether he wants to hold hearings or not. So, given the fact that he has already compiled all the necessary votes, I'm not so sure he should even go to the hearing because, according to sources I've heard, that it's not required. But in the effect that they have a hearing, and it starts to go downhill like it did with the last judge, I can't think of his offhand. They called in all these witnesses and tried to frame him up for doing things.
Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh.
Right, thank you. I think it would be up to Lindsey Graham, who's the chair, just to shut the hearing down and then go on to the vote, because we don't need to put up with this again from these Democrats. We know what they're going to be doing there anyway. One more little item here.
Yeah.
The fact that the Supreme Court may get another seat filled by a conservative, that doesn't necessarily mean that they could even take up Roe v. Wade. They could send it back down to the lower court. So everybody,
absolutely.
We know that sometimes the conservatives, they go up there and they vote the wrong way anyway. Take an example from John Roberts. Look what he did with the Obamacare and all that. Mm-hmm. So there's no guarantee because we get another seat filled that it's going to vote in the conservatives' way. Anyway,
No, and
have a good day. Yes, sir.
No, I'm just saying I agree with you. I mean, look, and again, think of it like this. You know, Nancy Pelosi has floated impeachment, or she hasn't at least turned it away completely, but she's got arrows in her quiver, she says. And my only thing is, arrows for what? Arrows for what? It's Donald Trump's constitutional duty. It's his job to nominate a judge, and then it's the Senate's job to vote on it. It's it.
Nancy Pelosi's problem is age-related, but I don't want to get into it any further than that.
Fair enough, Richard. I appreciate the call. Thank you. Good to hear from you. I mean, look, it's simple. Nancy Pelosi wants to float impeachment and weaponize impeachment again. What's the repercussions for that? What high crimes and misdemeanors would the president have committed if he nominates a Supreme Court judge? I'll wait. Because the last time I checked, that's his gig. That's the job. It's one of his duties. So I'm not quite sure that she wants to go down that path. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. All right, more on the Frank Beckmann Show. Chris Renwick filling in. After the news, we'll get some more of your calls and your texts. We are live on Facebook, so you can join in the show there. But first, at 11:27, got to check things out on our roadway with our Dana Clark. Dana.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Okay, Chris, right now we are accident free. Let's talk about construction along 96 Jeffries eastbound at the Davison. Your lanes, those express lanes that ramp to Davison eastbound, that's closed for construction 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily through September 26th. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Attention new car buyers, Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is offering huge savings on their inventory of new Ram pickups. During the Ram Power Days event, Parkway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Hall Road in Clinton Township. Show up, sign up, and ride. Currently sunshine, 63 degrees, adding at least 10 more to that on the first day of fall, a high of 76 tonight. Clear skies, your low 54. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
All right, a half hour left. I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm fresh as a daisy.
You're spent.
Oof.
I need a nap.
Look, I'm good for half-hour bursts at a time. After that, I need a 3-hour nap.
Right. Mike, let me know how the lines are. It seemed pretty full.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and a little insight into calling a radio show. the lines fill up fast. Every time you call, you kind of put yourself in the back of the line unless you have something really urgent or something. So, Todd, there's one or two open, but you'd be waiting just as long, if not longer, than the first time. But people also drop. So, there's been times where it's there's 10 minutes left in the show, you're last in line, and then a bunch of people drop and get bumped to the front. So it's like gambling.
It's exactly like gambling.
Yes. Which should thrill you adrenaline junkies. The most thrilling form of gambling is trying to call into a radio show. So, yeah, Todd, I would say, I know you said you couldn't be on hold for that long. If you want to give it a shot, you might get a free line here. But if you can't be waiting on line for a very long time, then I would just warn you about that. But that's why we have Facebook and text too. So there's multiple ways. I think we're working on a way for people to just show up to your house during the show, Chris, and just give you their opinion directly.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Just line up at the door.
Yeah. Right. Just knock.
Keep 6 feet distance. We'll just stretch you right down the sidewalk.
You look like those people on the news now where they have to set up like a microphone stand and then stand on the other side of the shot.
Yeah. Maybe I should do that one of these. Maybe I should do the show from like my front door.
Right. Just social.
That might be
distance.
fun. Yeah.
Like the weather guy on Channel 4. He does in the morning, Brandon Rue, he does the weather from his front yard.
Does he really?
He does. It's delightful.
I should set up a little table outside and I should do the show from the front of my house or the back of my house. That would be fun.
That'd be great. Yeah. And I mean, you're running out of time to do it, so you should probably
True.
Yeah.
Mike's a cool screener.
Thank
His
you.
name was Rudy. I think he played football for Notre Dame.
Oh, he's talking about the old D&D show that I used to be a listener. And we can shout out other radio stations if they flipped a decade ago, right? I mean, they're not competition anymore.
Oh, that's funny. So, Michael, what are you going to do now that trick-or-treating may be canceled? What is Rudy going to do?
Rudy or Trudy? Oh, I'm Rudy.
No, Rudy.
Oh, Trudy. Well, Trudy, if we had trick-or-treaters, Trudy would sit at the door and bark.
Okay.
I don't know. You know what?
Is this your first Halloween with her?
It will be, yes. We didn't get her till November of last year.
All right.
But you know what I've been seeing online are those shoots people are making out of PVC pipe where it's they set it up on their porch and they put the candy in and the kids hold the candy.
That's very interesting.
I might build one of those and we live on kind of like the last street in the neighborhood between by a busy road, so we don't get a ton of trick-or-treaters anyway, which is a bummer because my wife and I grew up to be the people we wanted to be, and we have king size and full size candy bars, so it pays to come to our house. But I think what I might do is build one of those and then take hot dog tongs, and that's how I would handle the candy, and then just have the kids do that. So
that's pretty cool.
We'll have candy for the kids brave enough to come out, healthy enough to come out.
So you've got the big candy bars. Do you have like an ice luge for the parents that you can't do this year?
Yeah, the
Parsons of Jaeger.
Yeah, the Parsons Halloween beer bong is going to be postponed till 2021 for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but it's weird because I remember the first year in our house we had a bunch of king size candy bars, and then we had some Laffy Taffies as backups for if we ran out.
Right.
And so we would just hold the bowl out for the kids to pick. And the Laffy Taffy went faster than the full size candy bars. I was shocked.
No, that is stunning.
It was like Twix and Nestle's Crunch and Snickers.
Oh, I would love to come to your house.
Yeah, come on by.
So, well, I guess I don't know what we're doing for Halloween, but Jake is going to be Cookie Monster.
Oh, I did see his costume. It's very cute.
Yep, he wants to wear it every day, so we put it on him every day. He's very excited.
My brother was like that too. He would wear his Halloween costume from late September through March.
Yes. And then I'll probably end up being Big Bird.
Oh, you got to post pictures of that.
Yep. And then I don't know, maybe the wife will be Elmo or something.
Right. Yeah. Who is the big female character on Sesame Street?
Rosita, maybe.
Rosita? Does that? Danielle doesn't know. I feel Elmo's pretty androgynous. It could be a man or
Elmo
woman.
is right. I just feel like it's like the big three.
Right. Right. Or Oscar.
Sad, right. True. It's sad the border agent was stabbed multiple times in Arizona. And he was shot and killed the attacker. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a terrible story too. My goodness gracious.
Hometown dealer, LDB Dodge, Chrysler Jeep.
Sale in September 30th. Check your local paper for details or ldb.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Look, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. That's the number for you to call or text. Look, here's a great text, speaking of. Amazing that Democrats say that Republicans cannot appoint a SCOTUS before voting has started in some states. But why can early voting begin before debates? I agree. I completely agree. Why is it that is allowed? These guys haven't even talked to each other yet. They haven't even discussed ideas. And they're already allowed to vote in almost 30 states. I mean, how is that possible? I just don't want it to, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm just, yeah, I agree. The hypocrisy is at an all-time level in DC. I'm telling you. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. Mike, where do you want to go first? How about we go to Bill in Dearborn? Is Bill there? All right, no Bill. How about August in White Lake?
I'm here, Chris. Nice
Hey,
job.
August. What's up? Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of things. As I'm listening to you, a couple of quick things.
Mm-hmm.
My heart goes out to the family that lost their husband and worker with MDOT. And to that point, here's my problem with politicians. To me, the perfect time you really want to start working on the roads, why wouldn't you have started that when there was hardly any traffic? There was no traffic months ago. Nobody was doing anything. The economy was shut down. They're equal distance. These guys are 1,000 feet from each other. Anyway, that's point number one. Point number two, getting the facts is becoming the toughest thing nowadays.
Correct.
That's a problem. And then they even say, well, we fact check it. Well, who's the fact checkers? I don't know. I don't know. I'm supposed to believe it, right?
It's a problem.
Seriously? It's a problem. Now they're going to do this whole thing with the Supreme Court. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. You can't even make this up. Am I in the twilight zone? I just want to know. Where am I? Where am I?
August, dude, I've been asking myself that for a long time. Now, how did we get here? Look, here's the thing. I think in order, like in terms of like online stories, right? Like you go and try to get some information. In terms of like the mainstream, the network news, I think Fox News does the best job of not interjecting opinion in a piece that is not labeled as an opinion piece or an op-ed or anything like that. Like I think they do a nice job of just telling you what's happening. I think CNN has gotten worse and worse and worse. MSNBC is a joke. I mean, you go to NBC or ABC, they're okay, but they're not great. There are little bits and pieces, just simple words that they place in that turn it from fact to an opinion. And it's a problem. And that's why I say it's really difficult to be an informed voter. It's very easy to just be a sheep and a lemming and just watch a video or watch a look at a meme and go, well, I'm not going to vote for Hillary or Trump now. I mean, that's the easy way out. But it's becoming increasingly more difficult. That's why places like WJR, right? That's why, because we're not a Fox News or a CNN, but we're here for you. So we want to make sure we give you the right information. We'll give you our opinions, but we want to make sure we give you the right information. It's becoming difficult, August.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's sad. It saddens me. And it really saddens me because from when I talk to, well, even people within my age group, I'm 66 now, supposedly a senior citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, people have they're absolutely entitled, especially in this country of freedom, to think that that's the word I want to use. Are they really thinking, number one? Forget the feeling. Think. Okay, you want to express your thought? I encourage it. I think it's good, just like we're doing. We're sharing ideas, we're sharing thoughts. If for some reason we start to disagree, hey, come on. It's not worth getting all upset over.
No, and I think the other thing that we need to keep in mind is, to me, it's not an all or nothing thing. Like, to me, the Republicans can't do all good. They can't do all bad. And I feel the same way about Democrats. It shouldn't be lumped in like that. There are things that I certainly don't agree with the president on, but there are things that I do agree with him on. And that's the conversation that we don't have. And that's the shame of it. August, I appreciate the call, my friend. I got to move on, but I appreciate you listening and giving us a buzz. 800-859-0957. Let's go to St. Clair Shores and talk to Tony. What up, T?
Hey, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. What can I do for you?
Good. Number one, hope Fred Beckmann does a little better. Get well. Come on back. We love hearing you, but we love Fred.
I understand. I got you. Yeah, he's good. He's just under the weather. He's good.
Yeah. I do some traveling through various states, and I noticed out east, I was out in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago, and in their construction zones, they have these cars with a big camera on top of it. Before that zone, there's a sign that says speeding, camera photography, blah, 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 ticket ahead. And I tell you what, if it's 50 miles an hour in that zone, those cars are doing 50 miles an hour.
Really?
St. Clair, maybe the state of Michigan should look into something like that.
Interesting. I hadn't heard of anything like that.
States that have it.
Huh, we'll look into it. Hey, Tony, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll look into it. I hadn't heard anything about this.
Yeah, like in Ohio, they have police officers in the zones, but they're not allowed to leave unless something drastic happens.
Right.
They but these cameras, these cars do that speed. I'll tell you that. That's the only time I see in a construction zone people are doing the speed limit. Otherwise, forget it. It's out the window.
Interesting. All right, Tony, thank you for the call, my friend. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. And I was just going to go to Sheila and Royal Oak, but Danielle says no, got to pump the brakes, getting ahead of myself. Sheila, hold tight. We'll come back to you after the break. We got to check in with Dana Clark here at 1142. Dana.
Just looking at construction today, Chris, along the Southfield Freeway northbound at Michigan Avenue, single lane closure scheduled there through early November. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors, introducing Karastan waterproof luxury vinyl floors now in stock at Reamer Floors. Luxury vinyl floors by Karastan are better than nature intended. Shop from home at reamerfloors.com or shop in store by appointment at Reamer Floors in Bloomfield Hills.
Can't rule out a shower to our north as.
So, Chris, right before we came back to the air in the last commercial break, Danielle told me something that's shaken me to my core.
Oh, no.
I did not know this, but Big Bird is a female. I always thought Big Bird was a dude.
No way.
She showed me something on Google, so it has to be true.
That's true. I think everything on Google is true.
What was the source of that Google search, Danielle? Well, give me the most, give me the New York Times or the, the Harvard Science Review, or just Just the most credible source. Since a lot of our listeners are skeptical of the New York Times, I'll also take a Fox News or a Newsmax article, just something.
Right.
Yes. Let's not get too complicated.
Now, what I did say, Michael, can I share this with you and our friends here on Facebook?
I would love it.
So, I got Jake. He's a little over 2. But we still have a gate at the top of our stairs. We have all kinds of stuff.
Smart, yes.
But we have all kinds of gates and whatever. I absolutely ruined my leg on one of these gates this morning.
Uh-oh.
It really hurts. I'm powering through. I'm professional. It's like I liken it to like when Schilling had that ankle injury, he was bleeding through his sock.
Right. This is the bloody sock show.
This is, yes. I have a slight bruise on my ankle, but I'm powering through. I want you to know that. Don't call me a hero. I don't want any sort of special treatment because of it. I just want you to know that I'm in a slight amount of pain.
I will have the statue bronzed at the lobby of the Fisher Building by the next time we're able to do the St. Patrick's Day party. That'll be the big unveiling.
Oh, that's funny.
Should you be wearing a
Romney
diamond
didn't
neck?
say he'd vote for the nominee. He is a rat. He could pull vote. No, I didn't know. He's not going to vote yes. He said he'll vote based on the I don't know what he said exactly, the merit or their whatever they stand for. He's not opposed to a vote like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have said they are. That's all.
Well, and also, I think that Collins and Murkowski, they may have a loophole where they say, okay, well, I wasn't for the vote, but since we're voting, I'm going to vote yes.
Sure, that could be. Or if they've got the votes in the Senate, maybe they just won't. Maybe it doesn't matter to them. Look, it was the same thing with Mitt Romney. If Mitt Romney knew that the Senate had the votes to acquit Donald Trump on his impeachment charges, he didn't have to vote yes. He can appease his base if that's what he's got. And he doesn't have to play the game. It's an easy way out. Exactly.
We're getting a ton of people with pushback and sources about Big Bird being a male. I don't know. Danielle might have been wrong.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure here. I don't think Danielle should just be throwing those things out willy-nilly.
Especially since we're a news talk station.
Yeah.
We're nothing without our credibility.
That's exactly right. We need 2 to 3 sources, Danielle. That's all.
Right. So I will definitely be fired. So it's been nice working with you, Chris. Danielle, thanks for nothing.
Well, I'll probably be fired too. I mean, and I'm hurt today. I'm injured.
I got the headset, so I just slide over. I just slide over to Quicken Loans.
Preparedness Company. MyPatriotSupply.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank. Here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957. Now we can get to Sheila. Sheila, I apologize for the wait, but it's good to talk with you. Sheila, good morning.
Hi, not a problem. I'm calling about the lady who called in a little bit ago regarding the Peters ad and the John James ad and which one's right.
Mm-hmm.
So the John and it's a fine tooth difference here, but the John James ad, both in the words and the voice that they say as well as what they have written on the screen, is talking about Peters' record in attending the hearings before you vote on a measure, including his own committees that he attends. So his attendance in these is poor. The Peters ad doesn't address that. They just talk about that he's here for Michigan, but it's in the voice part. If you look on the screen, what they have written in words, it says that his voting record is 99.8%. So those are two different things. As you know, you don't have to go to the hearings, but you go to the hearing. For me, that's just like
go to vote.
Yeah, you need to you need to go to the hearings to hear both sides, to talk about the give and take and go through all of that.
I haven't seen these ads. I'm gonna have to look them out because I haven't seen them. So I'll have to take a look at them. And I mean, I'm sure they're everywhere.
the Peters ad is deceptive because they're trying to address the thing saying that he's not there for Michigan, and attending the hearings. You should be going to hearings. I mean,
Right.
you may not take every single one, but it shouldn't be that you're missing most of them.
Exactly.
And as far as just being there for the vote, that's pretty standard. That, you know, on both sides of the party, you want people there to vote when it comes down to the final measure. But he's not going to the meetings ahead of time to listen to both sides and even give his side. He's just making sure he's there for the vote. So that is the difference between the two. But you really have to look at these ads to, you know, figure out what's what. And it's the same thing. You know, the Peters ad says he's against pre-existing conditions, which he's not. John James has addressed that in his own ad. But yeah, you really have to look at everything and scrutinize it. But I wanted to point out to that lady that didn't notice those two differences. You have to look at what, not only have to listen to what they're saying, but you have to read what's written on the screen as well. And that's where the difference is in the Peters ad. In the Peters ad, they write on the screen, really what they're talking about is he's there to vote 99.8% of the time.
Yep, good stuff. All right, Sheila, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. To Bloomfield, let's talk to Gary. Good morning, Gary.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Well, I was calling in regards, if I remember right, where we're talking about Michigan law on our Constitution and the judges writing, you know, or adjudicating from the bench saying that, you know, that they're going to change what the Constitution says for Michigan as far as the ability to count votes after the election and keep on counting.
Yes.
So then I believe I heard you have the Secretary of State on saying that, well, in regards to federal law, that is allowed.
So Paul W. would have had Jocelyn Benson on this morning. I didn't hear that part of the interview. Now, what I did hear was when she talked about the quote unquote computer glitch that didn't include Mike Pence's name in the ballot that was sent out, some 400 ballots. And so that was the part that I heard. So I hadn't heard that part. So I'll have to go back and listen to it.
All right. Well, that's what I thought I heard. Now, my point would be, okay, if judges, you know, are going on that basis, then how are states allowed to then write or have constitutional law for the various states that are in violation of federal law?
Right.
Federal law always trumps, i.e. like our marijuana laws and things like that, that are against federal law.
That's a good point, Gary. I mean, look, the thing is, I mean, are you confident in how this thing's going to play out?
I have.
Gary? Oh, we lost Gary. I was excited to hear what he said. He had some build up there, and then we lost him. I'm sorry, Gary. Let's go to Ken in Livonia. Good morning, Ken.
Well, I was just calling because it fascinates me that because the candidates for president are so far apart from each other on their views, completely opposites, that people would have a hard time figuring out who they want to vote for. I mean, on Trump's side, you got a guy that is pro-life, a guy that also believes that the money that I earned is my money to spend the way I want to spend it. Where you got Joe Biden, that he believes in it's okay even up to 9 months to kill a baby to abortion, and that the money that I earned is his to spend the way he and his party wants to spend it. So how you cannot be able to figure out between the two parallels who you're going to vote for is amazing.
Well, and that's, I mean, fair, but I mean, there are a fair amount of moderates in this country that, you know, look, there are more issues than the hot button ones like abortion. I mean, it's a major issue, but there are more issues, and you know, you got to look at a much bigger body of work and what these parties stand for. So, I mean, look, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that just they don't know yet. That's why I think it's crazy that you allow voters to send in their ballots before even in a debate. I think it's crazy.
Well, you know, Chris, one thing that's amazing is all of my friends and all of my family who are planning on voting for Donald Trump have never been approached by anybody doing a poll. I mean, we talk about, all these different polls, but everybody that I know, and I know a lot of people, they keep telling me, because I bring it up, we've never been called, we've never been asked. So I don't know how they're picking up names, who they're asking. They going through a list of all known Democrats and saying, okay, who are you going to vote for? But it just seems that that's the way they seem to be picking names.
All right, Ken, I appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Eileen in Riverview. Good morning.
Good morning. I heard Joe Biden recently say how he was going to bring the country together. How can you bring the country together when you are the one who divided it? When Trump wasn't even in office, they were talking about impeachment. You had one of the Democrats telling the people that if you're in a restaurant and you see a Democrat, to attack them, to make them uncomfortable.
Republican.
They're the ones who have caused the division, and yet they're blaming Trump.
Well, because everything's Trump's fault, though, right?
No.
I mean, that's their modus operandi. Anything bad is Trump's fault.
Well, and anything they say Trump did, they have done it.
Well, okay, fair. I mean, but look, Donald Trump colluded with Russians.
No, I
Donald.
Say Trump did. The Democrats have already done it.
Yeah, okay, and I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate the call. But my point is, the Democrats, everything is Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump colluded with Russians. Donald Trump is responsible for killing thousands of people because of the way that he didn't act or acted with his COVID response. I mean, everything's his fault. Everything. The protests, his fault. He's got division. He pits everybody against each other. It's his fault. It's everything is his fault. That's the rub here. Oh, the economy that was humming, his fault now. All those businesses that we closed for 4 months, his fault. Because we didn't have a plan. Everything is his fault. The world is going to come crashing down because of man-made climate change, because Donald Trump pulled us out of the climate accord. Everything is his fault. That's the thing. So, yeah, you have a good point. Interesting point. 800-859-0957. That's always our number, of course. And we will be back tomorrow with more of the Frank Beckmann Show, 9 to noon. But in the meantime, we do have one more piece of business to take care of, and that's get an update on our road situation with Dana Clark at 11:57. Have a good day.
This report is...
All right, Chris, it was fun being reunited for an hour.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much.
Maybe we'll do it again. Who knows?
Let's do it again. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.